Chris, people will see your costume in a moment, and I don't know if you're wearing this to highlight tonight, but I would like an update from the bowels of that costume that tells me what's going on tonight with the Cyclones.
What costume?
Why would I wear this to highlight is the first question. I'm having trouble hearing you, so maybe don't lead with me.
So your headphones aren't working.
Oh, now it's better. Now it's
your
better.
headphones aren't working right. You just told Roy 3 seconds ago that you don't think you can do the EP job today, which doesn't seem like the way to do this.
Correct. Confirmed. I'm in a bear suit, and this is gonna suck. I had 70 chicken nuggets a couple days ago, and this somehow seems like it's gonna be worse.
Hey, Bear, how's the eyesight doing inside that costume?
You know, I'm looking through my mouth at the moment. That's the better eyesight.
He's trying to get a claw to turn on the mic, but the problem is the claw kind of bends, so it's not like a hard claw, it's a soft claw.
Tony, if you'd seen what just happened before the show, is he got in his customary seat. He tried to look at like the console and stuff, and he's like, Roy, he went immediately to the bullpen because he hadn't considered when wearing a bear costume that his job might be more difficult. So difficult that the one button he has to press in the seat back there, he can't. And I keep seeing his teeth go up in the air every time he wants to talk to me because he can't see out of the costume.
Oh, we're cooking now. We're cooking. We're cooking with gas.
You got a stylus or something? To
you got a pen.
There it is.
I got makeup this morning. I was like, I don't know why.
Again, I was asking you about the Cyclones, not the difficulty in doing your job that represents fewer responsibilities than you usually have today.
Big one tonight, Dano.
Yeah.
Why is it big?
It's us versus Ikeda. That's how I'm looking at it.
They're all big this time of the year in the Battle Court season. The regular season's winding down, and the Cyclones are in firm control of first place.
You think this is Chris skirting responsibility? When he ate the 70 nuggets the other day, he just sat there on 2 gummies and just ate chicken fingers. What are you talking about?
Gummies?
We didn't have to tell Dan about that part.
Whoa.
You think I can't tell when the gummies are in your eyes? You think that's something that escapes my attention in your performance?
Believe it or not, first time I ever did it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the not on believe it or not there. I don't see you as a very responsible person.
At work is what I mean. I hated it, honestly. It was, I couldn't talk. Everyone was looking at me. Every time I spoke, everyone's like, oh, you're high.
Dan, there was a part where Chris actually tried to make a serious point. I don't remember what we were talking. I think we were talking about the Dolphins. But you could tell the thoughts were all kind of just bumping into each other on the way out his mouth. He was so high. And we all started laughing, and then he got really self-conscious, and that's when he put the sunglasses on.
He has told me a number of times this morning that he ate 70 chicken nuggets. And I just saw a graphic that now appears to be a lie that said on our YouTube 99 chicken nuggets were consumed.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
So, but you stopped 29 short?
I would say that I did well.
He gave out. I mean, the punishment was the attempt. Go as far as you could go. And his body just quit.
Come on.
The punishment is attempting? I feel like Billy ended up at the hospital because we forced him to eat the remainder of the onion.
Billy had 2 bites of the onion.
Number 1, he didn't eat an onion. He did 2 bites of it. Number 2, Billy did not want to eat an onion. That man over there, that bear over there, definitely wanted some chicken nuggets.
Rawr.
So long, we're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs, give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer. When your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control. And we're gonna ride checkdowns. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
Miguel Rojas. I know I'm late to the proceedings here, but I was taken a little bit aback by how excited Los Angeles is about the Dodgers. I consider them a pretty indifferent sports town, and it made me realize while I'm there, that's how everyone experienced the Miami Heat winning the championship when they had LeBron and Dwayne and Chris Bosh, which is I'm walking through a bunch of people who are saying, did you see that overtime game? Like, they don't know what they're talking about, but they were very excited about the Dodgers. And I'm like, you had all the best players. How can you be this excited when you've got all of the best players? But it really doesn't matter.
I got Dad going like, you had all the best players. How could you be this excited? Oh, now I get it.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, that's. But I didn't even realize it, right?
Slow realization.
Yeah, I slowly realized. Oh, that's how the nation felt when the Heat was winning those championships. What is that? What is that region so excited about?
That's why they were booing in Memphis and Utah.
I'm reading a headline here on ESPN.com. Broncos admit offense is lagging following ugly win over Raiders.
Dan?
They don't need to admit it.
Dan, we see it all, but I saw it when my top five, I know you were watching from LA. Thank you for that, by the way. I said the Broncos have the most ugly wins of any team in the NFL. You look through some of their wins. Jets 13-11. They had a comeback win against the Giants. They beat the Texans with Davis Mills 18-15. Raiders 10-7. It's like, this is ugly.
That is the team that has closed the gap between them and Kansas City, and no one will trust that team if it has to play Kansas City at home, on the road. No one will trust anything coming out of the AFC to beat. What are you making faces about?
I think their defense, obviously, if they get Pat Surtain back, it's going to take a little bit because he's got that strained pec. But I feel like defensively, they can hang around and make life difficult enough for Patrick Mahomes, where their inept offense can maybe squeak out like 16 points.
Thursday Night Football is back because that game, this is from Scott Kazmar, an NFL writer. It's the first game in NFL history that neither team scores more than 10 points. Neither team has more than 10 first downs. Both teams have 11-plus penalties. That's the first time that's happened. And the question I wanted to ask you guys that I don't think many people are asking today or in general is, Pete Carroll is questioning why he bothered to do that, right?
No, he's not. He knows why.
You don't think that people like Pete Carroll and Deion Sanders are looking like, where's my exit ramp? Like, what am I doing with the remainder of my life?
I guess you can lump in the GOAT in that conversation, too, and Jordan.
At least that team's improving. At least that team went to Syracuse and won a football game, and you can see the obvious improvement in North Carolina, even though Syracuse was playing. Was that their third-string quarterback? Is Syracuse playing with their third-string quarterback against Miami?
Yeah, they got like a walk-on. The spread against Miami is 29.5. That being said, Miami's got a ton of injuries, and these injuries are worse than we're letting on.
Wow, way to get ahead of it.
No, there's multiple name players that you may not see again.
Noah Eagle is starting for Syracuse.
Propaganda machine.
Come on, man.
Mike,
He works hard.
The Syracuse team is really bad.
Oh, yeah, Miami's got to destroy them. It's not about Syracuse. It is how they respond to it. But, I don't think Miami goes 4-0 in the next month anyway. So, I mean, the universe ended millions of years ago. We're just living in its echo.
I imagine you guys spent some time talking about the loss to SMU and the state of the Miami program as a means. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets have a coach.
The Ramblin' Wreck, Dano.
Everybody wants. Brent Key is 47 years old, and he's being asked about every job in America. There are a lot of job openings, a lot of valuable and coveted job openings. And Brent Key's quote is, "Slice me open and see what colors I bleed." And I want to ask the group, because I really don't know. When I think of Georgia Tech colors, I think of yellow, gold, but what else we got in there? Is it
Little
yellow?
blue.
Little navy.
But do you? So when you guys think, I know Amin knows the answer to this question, but when I say the colors of Georgia Tech, are you putting any dark colors in there? Because I just think of yellow and yellow gold. I don't put any dark in there.
When I think of the Golden State Gold and Yellow Jackets, I also incorporate Navy.
What colors do you bleed?
Gold and navy, man.
Okay, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know that Georgia Tech's colors, or the Golden State Yellow Jackets
The Golden
colors,
State Gold and Yellow Jackets.
were gold and navy? Because I don't think most people know that.
It is back, Jack.
Now, gold is the primary color, right? You see it all the time. Even though the name is Yellow Jackets, it's gold. We wear gold. But then the second accent is always that navy blue. Think of Stephon Marbury and Kenny Anderson. You know, they had those basketball teams all had the side trimming with the navy piping on it. That's what it is.
Can you explain the Rambling Wreck aspect?
Yeah, Rambling Wreck from Georgia Tech. Hell of an engineer. It's a song.
What sense does it make that the jackets are yellow but the colors aren't? Like that you're the Yellow Jackets but the colors aren't yellow. The color's gold,
Yeah.
But you're the Yellow Jackets. What sense does that make?
Well, a yellow jacket is an insect, but we're not insects. We're people.
You don't find some of this a little bit confounding?
Gold and yellow are derivative, Dan.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are gold and yellow derivative?
Gold
Because-
is the best yellow.
Go ahead and try and sell yellow on the open market. See if they tell you that you can use it for derivative.
Especially back then, right? You got to think a lot of these colors were picked at a time where it's like yellow belly. Oh no, I can't be a yellow belly. It's a gold belly. So it makes a difference. A gold. Oh, that feels very luxurious. Yellow belly. You coward.
Who is that? Is that a Western person?
That's
is that
someone in the 60s.
Yeah,
Some
from the South.
60s.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought
has
that was
opinions.
some mining for gold. Is
Well,
what I
no.
thought. That was a gold miner.
Because they watch like Looney Tunes and stuff, and Looney Tunes stuff is based on the Westerns, and the Westerns based on the Cowboys, whatever. It's not actually in the moment. All we're doing is referencing references. You see how it goes? It cascades. It's like a kind of poetry.
None of this changes the fact that they don't have any good wins.
We got one coming. Thanksgiving. At home. Bring that ugly ass dog with you.
Well, you're not at home. You're doing that thing where you go to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and you should do the revenue thing.
Yeah, it's not even the revenue thing. You know what it is, man? It's like everyone in the state of Georgia, I'm going to say it, and where's my camera? Right here. L. Duncan and the rest of you people, all you toothless hacks who couldn't buy, all of them.
The rest of you people?
All of them.
Toothless.
Maria Taylor, you're on that list too.
Toothless.
All of them. All of them.
John Isner.
John Isner. Oh, yeah. I seen you in the tennis chat trying to talk up. All of you. You guys couldn't pass CS 1501 if your life depended on it.
The Widowmaker.
So it's a more inclusive university. Ernie Johnson, you on that list too? All you hacks. Everyone who has a pulse in the state of Georgia can get into UGA. So that's why they're like, hey, that's our team. Georgia Tech, standards. Right? And so they're like, oh, you don't like us. I don't want to be a part of a club that won't have me. That's how they feel. So when we play in a neutral site in the state of Georgia, what ends up happening, all those hicks come over there with their straw hats and their overalls and their bare feet. And they go, like,
Hey,
oh.
now.
Hey, Bear.
I thought you went to Arizona State.
I graduated from Arizona State. You know why?
The Widowmaker.
Because Georgia Tech has standards. Standards, I say. I salute them. I respect standards. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I wasn't good enough. Not like these cowards that went up to Athens like, oh, let me go to the school that won't say no. Underwater basket weaving was a course there. Remember Jim Herrick? Remember the classes they were teaching out
I
there?
don't think that in 2025 you're allowed to come to a microphone and say that L. Duncan and Maria Taylor have no teeth.
And Ernie Johnson and John Isner. All of them. They know it. They went to UGA. Now they're all very successful, so I'm sure they went to the dentist and say, hey, you got to fix this situation. I'm going to be on TV. But when they got to UGA, when they got to Athens, the first thing that happened, all their teeth fell out. And they said, howdy.
Let me talk for a second about the job openings and the amazing career ascent and just general journey of Lane Kiffin, who's going to have his choice of these jobs when I know this is happening a lot all over the world and in America, where people are really forgetful of just general history, but even recent history. It's startling to me to see Lane Kiffin be in a position through choices he made, taking jobs that didn't have with anything in the way of expectations, to get one of the prime jobs that's anywhere in college football. I'm going to go through some of the journey in a second, but as it relates to your coach, okay, because what we have seen with Cignetti, with Rhett Lashley, who just improved his stock by beating Miami in one of those games where you're like, I know that team's not as talented as that other team, so the reason I'm going to say that team won is because of the coach, and you see a million things in that game that tell you, well coached. Your coach at Georgia Tech is saying in the press conference, these are my colors. This is the school that I coach for. There will be nowhere else that I coach. That's what he's saying. Slice me open and see what colors I bleed. Are you expecting to lose him, or do you think these words mean something? Because Nick Saban said the same thing. Nick Saban said, he didn't say the same thing, but he said, I'm not going to be the Alabama coach, and then he was the Alabama coach soon thereafter. People expect these guys to lie in these situations.
I think Brent Key's an alum. He's a Georgia Tech alum. He actually went to Georgia Tech when I went to Georgia Tech around the same time. So I believe him. I told you this earlier in the year, I fear he's too good. He's so good at some point. The competitor, you look for a greater challenge, right? And greater resources and all that. But when he says that out loud, I believe him. I'll take his word for it. You know why? Because he's a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer.
Well, but hold on. Let me just backtrack for a second, because you can be someone who has a great allegiance to your school, and you can also say, that might be the best college quarterback he'll ever have. That school's not going to be that good ever again because they've never been that good, and it's going to be really difficult to continue to be that good because of where the academic standards are at that school.
National champs in 1990.
Number one. Number two, I'd like to introduce you to a gentleman named Joe Hamilton. Went down to Tallahassee and stared the monster in the eyes. Came down to one touchdown that they won by. But still, this is not the greatest Georgia Tech team, not by a long shot.
This is not a good job, and this is the best quarterback they've had.
It's the best quarterback they've had since Joe Hamilton.
Yeah, since 99.
Joe Hamilton way better.
Heisman runner-up.
Joe Hamilton was incredible. Joe Hamilton.
Joe Hamilton.
Shout out to Joe Ham.
I do love Haynes King, though. He's one of the players that you identify, and you're like, this is why this sport is so great. That guy's not going to play quarterback at the next level, I don't think, but he's just gritty. The ESPN profile on Haynes King that came out last week about Coach Key asking him how his shoulder is. Shoulder's fine, piss and blood, but I'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I love Haynes King.
Was it Key who was quoted saying that's the toughest player I've ever met?
Yeah, and there was one emotional moment where Brent Key doesn't seem like this super emotional guy from what I know.
Engineer.
Of him. And he was asked, the biggest compliment I can give Haynes King is that when this is all said and done, I'd like to have a beer with him.
Yeah.
Heck, maybe 3.
Outpouring of emotion, Dan. You see that? That's you know how you complain about, my father, I don't know, did he love me or not? He probably said something like that and you just didn't pick up on it. When he says, I'd like to have a beer or 3 with you, man, he says, I look at you like my son. That's what Brent Key just said about Haynes King.
3 beers.
3
from
beers?
Coach.
Come on.
I don't like Amin's cubed assessment of my relationship with my father. Do you know how you complain, Dan, that you don't know whether your father loved you or not? That is not something that's ever come out of my mouth as a complaint.
It's a Cuban assessment.
I don't know why. I don't know why it is you took the entirety of my father's love over the course of a lifetime and turned me into a person who was questioning whether or not my father loves me.
I've chastised you many a time, Dan, about your incessant whining about my dad doesn't know how to show emotion. I'm like, what are you talking about? He shows it every day. I see it every day. But you know why, Dan? Because you are a spoiled child of this country. You didn't come from the old country where you understood, man, if my dad wanted to have a beer with me, the greatest honor imaginable. Now, Brent Key is not from the old country, but he is from Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Billy?
So to be clear, I just want to be clear. You are saying that Brent Key is not a Sudanese exile. That's what you are, just to be clear.
Or a Cuban exile. But you know what he is? He's a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has a lot of connected tissue, right? You cannot be from the old country and still have a lot of old country ways if you have to go to CS 1501, the Widowmaker.
Yeah, and a hell of an engineer.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, Bear.
That is not a good job Georgia Tech is not a good
It's a
job.
tough job.
It's a tough job because the academic rigors make it hard to recruit for.
Not a good job.
What? Hold on. Would we call Stanford not a good job?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, anything that makes it really hard
Stanford's a tough
to
job.
get the
Any
good
job can be a
players.
good job in modern college football.
Now look
though.
at them.
Like, you can go grab any player, and the ACC is always wide open because there are no powerhouses in that conference.
Jeremy, look how they swoon over Vanderbilt. Why? Because Anderson Cooper is his family created it? Who cares? They do it because it's like, ooh, you have the SEC title. All of a sudden, that's a good job. Get out of here. Get out of here. Georgia Tech is a tough job, but you know what? Tough jobs get, Dan? We get tough players.
No, I
Tough
mean,
players.
look, I can accept what Jeremy is saying in the macro, that it's easier for random school to win today if it has money than it was in the past. But if I'm going to cripple a program with one thing more than any other, it's an inability to get players because your academic standards are too high. It's what makes something a much harder job. The Georgia Tech job is already plenty hard. Now I throw in academic standards that make it all the harder.
Dan Le Batard, there's always a way around them academic standards. They're in Georgia. And Georgia's high school football recruiting base is damn near tops in the nation. I think it surpassed Florida. It's in a metropolitan area. While it does have its challenges, I would still consider it a good job. Now, if you look at it compared to all the jobs, let's say it becomes available because Coach Key leaves, it's probably down around like 9, 10, 11 in terms of what's available out there for some of these guys.
I'm not actually saying it's not a good job and then wondering whether someone else would want it. I'm saying it's not a good job, and that's why Brent Key will not be there no matter what he bleeds 10 years from now. He's not giving the entirety of his career. Look, I saw this the other day while I'm watching on television. I was stunned by this. You know how long Rice's football coach has been there because he went to Rice? Rice is never any good. Rice's football coach should be changing every year. He's been there 14 straight years.
Get out of town.
Good for him.
Get out of town.
I got waitlisted at Rice.
But it's also because they don't care about football at all, and therefore there are no football standards, and so that he could stay there for 14 straight years.
How does he have that job security? That's crazy.
Good baseball school.
It is a good baseball school.
You like that
That's a
pull,
hell of a
huh?
pull from
You like
Tony,
that pull,
man.
huh?
He's right.
I'm a hardball
Tony.
guy, though.
I
I'm a
like
hardball guy.
baseball Tony. This is a great evolution.
I just got to gamble on it.
I like waitlisted at Rice or Maine. That's what I like.
Also, good academic school, though.
To this day, I'm still confused about that.
I got accepted at Gonzaga. Since we're all bragging.
No, you didn't.
I didn't go because it was far.
Too far? Why'd you apply?
I opted to go
There's
to NDC
no
instead.
way.
I got
no
accepted
way.
in the Gonzaga.
Why did you apply?
Huh? They were interested, and they were good at basketball at the time. That was around the time of Batista with the catch. And it was like, wow.
That's why I went to
The
Georgia
Zags.
Tech. That's why I went to Georgia Tech, by the way. It's like, they're good at basketball.
Yeah. It was them and Campbell. Campbell was like on my ass. I went to a
Kentucky?
Christian school. No, Campbell, the Camels.
I came in today and I was handed a piece of paper that had all of the week's polls when Amin was in charge. Okay, it's all of the week's polls.
I mean, Dan, you know what? I see the paper in front of you. We did a bunch of great shows, okay? It's not indicative of the polls.
They were okay.
What?
I don't have a lot of evidence that you did a lot of great shows because I only have this sheet of paper as evidence, and this sheet of paper has 3 polls on it, and here's a third of the polls. Who's better, Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray?
This is a question that Arizona asked itself.
That was a great show.
We were ahead of it.
What was the answer there,
We
Dano?
were way ahead of the conversation, and guess what?
You were. Tony was. Tony was way ahead of the conversation where he was saying Kyler Murray weeks ago. You got to move off of
Guy
Kyler
stinks.
Murray.
Guy sucks. Get him out of here.
Well, he's out of here.
He would appear to be out of there. Jacoby Brissett as the answer is not the answer.
Now, Dan, I'd like to, in my defense, there's a poll question that did not get posted. Juju made an editorial decision not to post it. But on Wednesday, as Greg Cody's going in for surgery and as the bear over here is going for 99 nuggets eaten, we had a poll question, who's more likely to die today, Greg Cody or Chris Cody? Juju said, we can't post that one. So that should have been on the sheet.
That's good judgment from Juju.
What?
Speaking of the Broncos-Raiders game from last night, though I am loath to do it, it's not just Pete Carroll. Chip Kelly is making $6 million a year. Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator. They've scored 10 or fewer points 4 times this season, the Raiders, 4 times. And I'm asking you again, you really think Pete Carroll is sitting there in his office every day? And I know he's optimistic, and I know he tries to be sunshine. You think he's happy with the decision that he made? Like, you think that the Raiders are, I think this is relatively quietly kept. The Raiders are kind of the Dolphins over the last 25 years. If not for the Dolphins, the Raiders would be the ringing, echoing streak of incompetence in that sport that never makes the playoffs, never wins a playoff game, is largely irrelevant. They've done nothing in how many years has it been since Rich Gannon and
They made the Super Bowl in 2002, so
Gannon.
unlike the Dolphins, they've made it to did the Dolphins even win a postseason
I said
game?
if not for the Dolphins, the Raiders would be the thing that we were laughing at about 20 years without anything in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, the Bills have fixed all of that. The Lions have fixed all of that. In the middle of that, the Jets did some winning.
I think post Rich Gannon, they made the playoffs with
Gannon.
who was it? Connor Cook, the quarter. Like they had an injury at quarterback. Was it Connor Cook that started the playoff?
Do you
game
want
for
to
them?
try and remember the last time the Raiders won a playoff game?
They should have won that game in Cincinnati. That whistle screwed them, and it sparked a Cinderella run for the Bengals in that postseason. But no, I don't remember the last time they won it. If I had to guess, it would have been the AFC Championship game that got them into that Super Bowl in which John Gruden knew all the plays.
Steps back.
It brings me back to this Lane Kiffin conversation and how startled I am to see what was once a child prodigy who then got the job of his lifetime in his early 30s, okay? And he ends up flaming out with the Raiders at the start of what it is that I'm talking about in such a dramatic way that Al Davis, the old crypt keeper owner of the Raiders, the late crypt keeper owner of the Raiders, came out and did a press conference in which he excoriated Lane Kiffin, a memorable press conference where he kept going to the microfiche and saying,
Mortensen.
and I always get it wrong because that's not microfiche. It's that projector that's not microfiche. It's something else. What's that? Oh, you should remember.
It was a
Overhead
overhead
projector.
projector.
Yeah, engineer over here.
Celluloid?
What is microfiche?
Microfiche is a thing from like Austin Powers when they're looking through the
Microfiche is actually when, and God, Tony, it's funny to say this because it's from libraries and it's where you would go and find old newspaper articles by
Yeah.
You guys are doing a lot of this motion, like getting your hands and like turning them over.
I'm-
I don't know what
I'm
that's supposed to mean.
actively reading the definition of it, and I still don't understand.
Let me tell you guys what it was. So back in the day, you wanted every copy of every newspaper ever, so you could go back and look up what was the Dallas Morning News the day JFK got shot. But of course, you couldn't just stack papers and papers, and they didn't have scanning technology like we do now, where it's a website. So what they did, they would take an image and scan it into an image, and then the image would be printed on this really, really small film. So if I held it up, you're like, I can't see anything. But then you put it in this machine, and they would light up and magnify it, and then you would like adjust, and you could see the whole page. And it was called microfiche.
I mean, thank you. That is as wonderful and efficient, as competent as I've ever seen you be. You rushed right into the breach and had just a perfect explanation. They still don't
And I
understand.
still don't get it.
They still don't understand.
So it's
what it
tiny.
is.
That's
How
why
did
they
you
called it
guys get
microfiche.
anything done?
Oh,
like
man.
ever.
Let me tell you something about the Dewey Decimal System, my friend.
Dewey.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dewey
if
Decimal
you had to
System.
find a book, you couldn't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to find this book over here under B for Branson Johnson who wrote it." Nope, the books were all organized by this thing called the Dewey Decimal System. You had to go to this like drawer that had cards.
Card cataloging.
You had to look it up, and the numbers meant something. It's like the first number meant what kind of category it was, the second one fiction, nonfiction, and the third one whatever. And based on that, you knew what part of the library to go find the book, only to find out somebody already checked it out.
This was essential. This was essential education. When I was in middle school, they taught me how to card catalog and do this. Like as if I would, it was preparing me for my life as an adult in which I would have to go to the library because AI and computers and the internet wouldn't exist.
Jeremy, even when the internet did exist, right? You'd be at home like, oh, I'll just look it up. Okay, sit down. First thing you gotta say, Mom, don't get on the phone. I'm about to get on the internet. And then you'd hit a button and it said, welcome. And then you'd hear, and you would wait, and this thing would blink, and finally, I'm in. And then you found the thing you were looking for and say, okay, download that. And it would say, estimated time remaining, 13 hours. And you just had to get up and walk away and hope it downloaded in time before your dad came home and said, hey, let's order pizza.
So I think microfiche was the internet before the internet with some library thrown in, is how I'm going to describe how it is that was used. I always make this mistake, but again, Al Davis, the late owner of the Raiders,
that's what we talked
went in front of everybody after letting go of Lane Kiffin and just aired all of the Raiders' dirty laundry and placed it all at Kiffin's feet and said he was in cahoots with
Mortensen.
Yes, he just kept hitting. He kept saying again and again,
Mortensen.
we've never seen an owner press conference like this. This is the start and what I thought was the end of Lane Kiffin's career.
Mortensen.
And to see, then he goes to Tennessee and they're burning mattresses on campus because of everything that happens there. And then
because he decides to leave to USC. And then USC, Dan, they fire him on the tarmac. They don't let him get on the plane. This is a guy that was a pariah. He had to go to the Nick Saban school of rebuilding one's credibility.
Pariah Carey.
And he did that. He rebuilt himself. He had to go to FAU, the Lane Train, in Boca Raton to show that, no, I could run a program. And then he gets a call up to Ole Miss. And now this person who already has one of the most fascinating careers, and I think when it's all said and done, will probably have the most fascinating career in the profession, has his name pop up as the number one candidate during a golden age of jobs available. You got LSU. You got Florida. You got Penn State. You'd be hard-pressed to have one of those jobs open up over the course of 5-10 years. And he's the top man wanted at all of them. It's a pretty insane thing, especially when he hasn't done big winning. For whatever reason, losses like what he had last year with Jackson Dart in Gainesville against the Gators that kept him out of the playoff. They don't stick to him. Everyone likes this guy. He doesn't have the same kind of work ethic when it comes to talent acquisition, but he's really smart, and people dig his vibe.
To be fair, he was 31 when the Raiders hired him as coach, which is insane to think about. The longevity. Yeah, because he was 31 when he started coaching. It's been 20 years.
I'm interested in the longevity, but I'm also interested in the forgetfulness of people, because that's some very public learning that he was doing with failures that are hugely embarrassing. And I do think it matters what Mike Ryan just said on give me all the signature wins, because the reason Lane Kiffin gets credit is because he's never expected to win. Like the game, he often wins in the SEC when the expectations for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss are, you're not supposed to win. You're not going to win. How are you winning? And so it's been wonderful career management since he spent his entire 30s. You have to understand, this is the most coveted person in college coaching right now is a person who spent the entirety of his 30s, at least in part because of that Al Davis sound,
Mortensen,
that started this cascade of, that's not a person you can trust. You cannot. Tennessee will tell you that's not a person you can trust. The Raiders will tell you that's not a person you can trust.
Mortensen.
USC will tell you that's not a person you can trust.
All three locations would probably hire Lane Kiffin right now if they had to.
Look, what Tony said, him being 31, that's like me being hired as the Raiders head coach next season.
Wow.
And he's grown from it.
That's crazy.
He's absolutely grown from it. Plenty of coaches have had failure and have turned themselves into great coaches. Bill Belichick, didn't have it go great in Cleveland before he became reputed to be the greatest head coach of all time. He's just a fascinating guy because he doesn't do it like everybody else. He's shit-talking David Stone on the sidelines. He's got a vibe about him, and I do think that you need to have a really good, tight program and a lot of resources, but that doesn't often guarantee you. Like Ole Miss, again, had a ton of resources. Look at their roster. They were absolutely loaded last year, but what worked against him when he was younger, now that he's older and more mature, he hasn't changed. We've changed.
They've had a ton of resources for a long time. I forget the player's name. He never panned out. But everybody was looking around when they got the number one recruit in the country about 10 years
Robert
ago.
Mdiche?
Yes, it's close. I was going to call him Kim Diche, but it's in that area. They got the number one recruit in the country at one point.
Hugh Freeze was there.
They were ahead of this whole, we'll just buy the players, and everyone will be like, why'd that guy choose Ole Miss? That makes no sense whatsoever.
They had A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf at the same time.
Damn.
When Mike says that Lane Kiffin might have the most fascinating coaching career of all time, what goes into that conversation? What other coaches are you guys nominating? All sports, all time for
Jose Mourinho.
What a fascinating path that person took.
Larry Brown, Next Town Brown.
You mentioned Nick Saban as well. I suspect that he will be in this discussion. We've got some Nick Saban birthday video that is awkward. How old is Nick Saban turning here, Chris? What is the age? What is the context for some of this video that we're about to watch? You've been fundamentally useless for an hour.
No, he's been dancing the
This
whole
bear
time.
costume has been something that's been a punishment to me and no one else here. I've looked. I've
Creating
looked,
art back here.
I've looked a number of times for help for something, and then I see you in the eating area, and I see the back of your costume isn't even bothered to be zipped up.
It's hot in there, by the way, Dan. I went to fix his
supposed to be
headphones.
a punishment of someone other than me.
I am
Heat emanating
schwitzing.
from
There
it.
is a radiating heat coming out
Like a
of this
sauna.
costume.
I am schwitzing, but I am really into this video with Nick Saban. So this is his family celebrating him. There's a couple. I want to play it first and let you observe just it, and then we'll discuss it. Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Sit up. Happy birthday, dear Tommy. Dada. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Got a good wish. Good one. Make it good. Make it good. Make it good. Greece, Italy, cruise. With the family. Good.
Oh, my
More,
God.
more, more, more.
I'm just noticing what happened there, which is a football family took no inventory of what was on the television and what Nick wanted to be watching. That's Bills Chiefs at 28-21. Like, it's not early in the game. Like, that's as if those people do not know the man who's in that lounge chair.
Wait, is that when Mahomes was making the drive after the dude missed the kick?
Yeah, that's the offense that's on the
Oh,
field.
no.
My favorite part of the video is when Miss Terry approaches with the cake. He's lounging, leaning back, and she hits him with a sit up, and he sits up. It was just like that was just like a big observation there. That guy's terrified.
We learned that when Nick Saban was here, that Miss Terry ran that household, and Miss Terry would give up the details of, Nick was someone who liked to play the accordion, and there were all sorts of things that Miss Terry gave the audience because, yes, Miss Terry is in control of everything that's happening there, and there should be no shame in that. She's clearly, even though she's got the dictator champion in her house, she's clearly very responsible for all the success that's happening
Also,
there.
if we can just put the still shot I see right now in preview. If you're covering your feet and legs with a blanket like this, you're not returning to coaching. Okay, that's just like a rule that I can make. That is a man that is happy on his lounge chair watching some football on Sunday.
We can agree that's not a flattering angle of Nick Saban's hair, right? We have never seen his age more
Dan,
than
we could agree on that.
from that angle. Thank you. You have been not helpful this segment in
He's
any
been
way.
great here.
All right, you know what? I'm out of here.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Oh, he's taking the elevator down. No!
Oh, no. He's going down.
Bear in the basement.
Nick Saban cannot be flattered by anything that's happening there, not his wife summoning him in a way that makes him react the way his players do when he summons them, not the timing of that game, not the angle that shows the back of his head in a way that he never wants it seen by himself or others. What are you smiling about, Amin?
I just remembered Shane Gillis calling him Alabama Jones.
He looks kind of dead there, right? Like they just kind of like propped him up.
Hey, relax.
No,
Come on
God
now.
forbid. God forbid. Respectfully, though.
You know what?
When you look at him there, it's like,
Tony's
oh my
not-
God, it's over.
Tony's not wrong there. That is not
The hand.
far from whatever angle his body would be at if he was being placed in a coffin.
Until she says sit up, and then he springs into action.
He looks all right. Yeah,
Lazarus out of the grave.
Like you guys are the picture of health in that window on an NFL Sunday.
Springs is a good verb because it was the springs on that chair that made him go forward.
Microfiche.
And it was very slow. She is dancing in front of him with the cake, and he wants all of this to be over because there are 5 minutes left in the Chiefs-Bills game.
Kind of a modest setup for the greatest head coach of all time, right?
What did you expect? Multiple televisions?
Yeah.
That's just old guy television.
Odd chair placement across the room there. Right in front of that TV, there's a chair like facing the opposite direction.
Yeah, I don't like this, coach.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. If
Yeah.
any of us, if you were to tell any of us and this part you guys are underestimating. Hey, guys, your football Saturday and Sunday, you could lay there like a vampire in a coffin all night. With a chair that's been dented by your ass over the decades, laying in that coffin all night. We would all take that setup. We might want more televisions, but as old people, that's the setup that Nick Saban absolutely wants. If he wanted a better setup, he'd have a better setup.
I mean it when I say this. That's me at my happiest. On a Sunday, melting into my couch, 20 milligrams, stuff in my face, left turns, football. America.
That's eluded me for so long because of the baby now, where I'm like, man, I look at that and I'm like, it's reaching out to it.
Roy, do me the favor of playing again how it is that I returned from 4 days off and try to say the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Golden State. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
When you guys make big announcements, are you one that just likes to rip the Band-Aid off or really just drag this out? Like, if you had something really important to say in this segment, would you just say it right now? Or would you, like, let's have a segment, have a little conversation, and then
What do you
build
mean
up
big
to it?
announcements? Like what kind of big announcements?
I don't know. I'm just saying if hypothetically someone wanted to announce something in here.
Announce like
Whitty,
what,
if you
though?
wanted to announce something, would you just, like, are you rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy?
I think I am. I don't like to drag things out.
Get right to the point.
Get right to the point,
But why are you guys talking about big announcements?
Because I just like to talk about life sometimes, and we all have big announcements to make sometimes.
Right. You never
and
know.
I just like to see, I like to go around the room, get a feel for how people, like audience, how do you, like, we're going to give a little 10 seconds of silence here so everyone in the audience can say how they handle big announcements. All right, so audience, when you have a big announcement, are you a rip the Band-Aid type, or do you, slow burn? Shh.
Wow.
This is a callback to Naked Chris, by the way. I used to do this with Naked Chris.
You guys are so uncomfortable with silence, you couldn't get through 4 seconds.
Seriously,
I mean,
Chris is
working in
world
radio
class.
for a long time, Dan.
We're ready to go. Dan and I were ready for 10 seconds.
So I still don't understand what you're doing, though. What are we making a big announcement here? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we are.
But who's making it? Is Chris Cody making it? I mean,
I am making a big announcement. Well,
okay.
I don't like to classify my own announcements as big or not big.
Wait a minute.
I'll leave that to you guys.
I started this segment, and there's actually an announcement that needs to be made.
What are the chances?
Wow.
Good at this. All right, so
Whitty's leaving.
It was really poor acting.
Spoiler alert.
What the hell are you doing?
yeah, Chris Cody is correct. He has indeed broken my news. I will no longer be the executive producer of this program. I took over that job like a year and a half ago, but yeah, I will indeed be leaving that. And I have decided to commit fully to my play-by-play role, which I have recently begun with Apple. And I will no longer, well, I don't want to say no longer, because I'll still be around here at Meadowlark. We're working on a project that I will be a part of. But in terms of regular daily involvement on this show, that comes to a conclusion today. I'll still be around. Like, I think every once in a while, I'll still kind of.
They're hugging you.
Yes.
Did you have a different way of doing this before Chris Cody got involved?
No, I didn't write anything. I was going to say it just as awkwardly.
Some people would argue that you presided over the single worst era of the Le Batard Show with Stugotz.
And if that is...
That was Andy King, year one. Oh, no.
Poor Andy
Not
King.
Andy's fault.
Oh,
Not Andy's
King,
fault.
that's a stretch.
No. My fault and Dan's fault, not Andy's fault. Okay?
Poor Andy King. All right, so I come in. I
It's
come in
our
third then.
fault, not Andy King's. I said it.
I come in third then. That's fine. But if that's on my tombstone, at the very least, I got to say I work with you, tremendous group of people. I love you all. I will miss you all.
Well, rank us.
Hold on. Before we get to making this awkward and syrupy, we are very happy for you because when you started over here, you are now embarking on what is your dream job, correct? This is, and for those who do not know, we have known Whittingham since he was a young broadcaster in college, heard him on a WVUM game, and he was exceptional, noticed him that he was good at the art of play-by-play, and so you bailed us out during a really turbulent, difficult time by coming over here and simply being helpful at a time, and we still need the help because we're going to miss you, but you're getting your dream job. This is, and you want to devote yourself to it because you can't, people don't understand how consuming these jobs are. They think Joe Buck shows up and can just fart out 4 hours, and that's not how it works.
Yeah, I didn't, honestly, because when I got it, I was like, all right, this works out perfectly. Fly out on a Friday, do the game on a Saturday, fly back on a Sunday, do the show Monday to Thursday. It'll be fine. It'll work out great. And then you get into doing it, it's like, whoa, this is a lot. So, I've embarked on a couple trips, and it kind of proved to be too much for me. And I kind of decided that, this is absolutely my dream job. And, working more towards this and being able to do it better is really important to me. So, I'll still be kind of hanging around in case anyone needs me for anything. But in terms of regular involvement in the show, and I actually, Dan, in honor, I have a top 5 list if you want it.
Wow!
On the way out here, as sort of a memento to leave behind.
Okay, so this is a top 5 list on one of the worst eras ever of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz, surpassed only by Andy King. Although Stugotz says it's my fault and his fault.
Yes.
By the way, those 3 weeks when I started in between ESPN and just doing a podcast the next day, one of the craziest 3 weeks of my life. That was batshit crazy.
The whole thing has been batshit crazy. Again, I remind you, don't start a business during a pandemic. What is the top 5?
All right, the top 5 list. I like to annoy you guys with my British expressions. And I kind of revealed them one at a time. And I got people saying, not from me, Clive. And I got people saying...
And unwelcome additions to the show.
Yeah,
yes.
right. So I have a top 5 list of British expressions that I haven't gotten to yet, that I was going to over the course of time, but I didn't get to.
It's the perfect way for you to go out.
And that it's
really
terrible. It's maximum fancy lad. He's 100% Colombian, not British in any way. It just doesn't make any sense in any way, except that he wishes to be like their people.
I do have a Welsh last name. Just saying.
It's weird. I think I'm shocking people right now, telling them that Chris Whittingham is 100% Colombiano.
It's a fake last name.
It's.
I mean, that's harsh.
Anyway, number 5.
Well, I have 2 OLIs. First, I never got to say that I was going on vacation by saying I'm going on holiday.
Jesus. I said it to you often.
Everyone is just shaking their heads. Sadly, but not because you're leaving. Sadly, because this has to be the end.
All right. I never got to say that I was eating cookies by saying I'm having a biscuit.
Chris Cody, I'm looking at the faces here. You are getting at the very end.
Glad he's leaving.
No buy-in from anybody. Number 5.
I never got to describe someone that was very pale as being albino.
Number 4, one of the strangest dismounts in the
Coming up today on the Alley Oop.
The Portland Trailblazers slayed the dragon.
They definitely did. And my brother has smudged another one.
Lock in.
Lock in.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings! The crown is yours.
Dave Damashek will join us here in moments. Football America is a very good podcast. Quirky, fun, smart. Football America Mondays and Fridays. But I want to play the sound again. Tony and Mike are on this week. Is that what
this
you
episode
especially smart today?
Very intelligent episode.
Okay, so you guys are being used by Damashek in today's episode of Football America?
Oh, dude, mid-season awards.
Very
where
exciting.
it's finally time where we can have a reasonable Baker Mayfield MVP discussion.
Before we get to the Hampton Farms winner for Nuttiest Fan of the Week, can you guys just play again the sound of Nick Saban, happy birthday? Because all of this is great, but especially great in the middle of it is the way that Miss Terry really demands, hey, you're going to sit up for a second in the middle of our football life, and you're going to accept your family's love. You're going to do it very quickly, and I'm going to get you to do it with 2 syllables. I'm just gonna hit you right in the heart with sit up, and you're gonna spring from that coffin of yours that you've been sitting in all weekend. You're gonna spring from it, and you're gonna enjoy your birthday.
To you, happy birthday to you. Sit up. Happy birthday, dear Dada. Happy birthday to you. Think about a good wish. Good one. Make it good. Make it good. Make it good. Grease, Italy, cruise to the family. Good. More.
Got a good idea of what that wish was.
Her timing was impeccable. It was like, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Sit up.
Yep. Waited for the pause.
Waited for the pause. Hit it directly on target. Number 2, the reason why she has to bark that is because as they're singing and rounding the corner around him, he hasn't moved. He's like, you could hear the exhale come out of him. I'm like, Jesus, guys.
But it is a little strange, right, to see eternal leader of men, general of toughness, not only being told in a way that is a samurai sword across the face, sit up, but also referred to as Dada. Like the whole thing.
They were a little confused on what to call him. There was like a lot of like, Dad, Bug, Nick,
Coach.
I did not hear a coach in there.
I call every coach.
I did not. There was no coach in there. Damashek, as you join us now, do you have any thoughts on our Nick Saban happy birthday video? Do you have any observations?
Yeah. Compare and contrast that to who's more disinterested. Nick Saban at his birthday celebration, who's more disinterested in the events in that room? Saban there or Donald Trump looking at the guy laying on the floor?
Oh, my God.
By the way, in this first scene, is that Greg Cody?
It does look like
you guys do understand that at that age, the birthday is not happy for him. He doesn't want to be doing any of that. He wants to be watching the last 5 minutes of Mahomes against Josh Allen.
That is Tommy Tige.
Fellas, I have a lot of different things that I'd like to address with you. The garlic roll incident, I don't know.
I was told that at Flanagan's a week ago, it was alarming how many garlic rolls you ate, and your entire face smelled like bad breath.
I mean, that's complete nonsense. That's abject hooey and applesauce. That I had one garlic roll on my way out the door because I was encouraged to have one. I think it was Chris Cody who was really pushing them hard.
He said
These
you
are
were
delicious.
crushing them. He said you were crushing the garlic rolls. He said you were eating them. They were like a factory line of garlic rolls going into your face.
Okay, number 2 issue to address is, so Dan Le Batard, I hope you had a good time in Los Angeles. Maybe we could have crushed some garlic rolls together while you were out here. Maybe on your next visit. We could.
Well, I didn't even know you were in Los Angeles.
What did you think? He was
honestly.
Pittsburgh?
I didn't know where he was. I didn't know where he
Next.
was based. I didn't assume it was Los
You
Angeles.
think he's hanging out with
Next.
John Hamm in Pittsburgh?
Your diminishment of Angelino sports fans is semi-fair, but I disagree that they don't know about baseball. You know about baseball? Yes, Los Angeles Dodgers fans do. I'm fascinated by the idea because I was talking with some of the gang down there last week when I was out. People they have to rationalize reasons to hate idyllic places to live like Los Angeles and Miami, and so they conjure these reasons. I could never live there because of hurricanes or earthquakes or whatever else, or because of the governor and all of that kind of stuff. Which is the better sports town, and which one is more hated and which one's titles does the rest of the sports nation care less about? I find that subject fascinating. I always say NFL fans in SEC country, it just means less. It's clear that what really matters in your neck of the woods is how the college teams do. What happens on Saturday trumps what happens on Sundays, right?
Dave, I'm not kidding you when I tell you that I heard 3 times while I was there of the 18-inning game, it described as overtime. You're not going to tell me that those people knew what they were talking about. Like 3 different times I heard, what an amazing game last night. It went into overtime.
Very important question, Dan. Were they talking about the Dodgers game or the Doyers game? Because someone who talked about the Doyers game would not say that.
That is correct. The Dodgers game would not say overtime.
I'm not going to dig my heels in on that. I do want to say to Jeremy and beyond, because we were talking about the series, obviously, as it was going on a week ago, and then I got back to Los Angeles and watched Saturday night. And I guess it speaks to the largesse of pro football in our society at this point that somehow we got to Monday and the Andy Pages catch was an afterthought. That was, I think it will loom 20 years, 50 years from now as one of the iconic plays in sports in this millennium. Do you agree? Am I getting hyperbolic? Am I a prisoner of the moment?
Yes, I think it will be for regionally. People will remember it. I don't think it's nationally something that people are going to remember.
Any baseball fan naturally is going to remember that catch.
A guy who went 1 for 976 makes one catch and it's going to be remembered for a millennium.
That's why.
No,
I mean, there are so many events within. I mean, just start the clock at 9 in the 9th inning. From that point forward, the whole series ranks in my lifetime as probably one of the 3 best World Series we've seen. But just from the 9th inning of Game 7 on, and the number of events that happened in it. But as opposed to Rojas hits the improbable home run, but you put that you stack that up with.
Springer being safe at the plate.
Mazeroski.
No, you can say there were more moments in just extra innings of that series than most World Series have.
But Amin at least will relate to this. I was thinking about it in these terms. Home runs are great, but they're garden variety, classic moments that live for eternity. But they all stack up against each other, and which one was the best, and all of that. I think sort of like, is chili a soup? No, it's something better. It's its own thing. And sort of like Godfather, every death, every shooting death, every killing in The Godfather stands out because it's got some weird little quirk. There's a beat that is a little there's a half a beat of oddity when Luca Brasi puts his hand on the counter at the bar. There's a weird pregnant pause before they kill him, and so it goes. I think that's the Pages thing. It's sort of like the Tyree catch or the Immaculate Reception or things like that are just, they are by themselves. Andy Pages, you understand, in the bottom of the 9th, with the whole thing on the line, crashed into Kike Hernandez. Once again, reminder, Kike, the accent over the E, the most important accent mark in sports going right now. But this guy was going to basket catch it. I don't know if he was going to catch it. I don't think he wasn't going to catch it.
He wasn't.
And Andy Pages trucks the guy. And, when you run into another human being at full speed, generally speaking, it throws off what your assumptions are physically about where things are going to come to, where they're going to hit. That he catches that ball and sends it to extras. It's just one of the iconic moments I've seen, and nobody is talking about it. It's weird.
You know what it is, Dave? It's the gun in the bathroom taped to the back of the tank, which, by the way, Francis Ford Coppola didn't tell Pacino where it was, so that's why when he look for it, he's actually looking for it for real, because he knows it's there, he just doesn't know where, and he's doing that, and he finally finds it. And Coppola did that on purpose because he wanted an authentic Michael Corleone to be searching for that gun.
I love the best thing in that scene is one of the all-time scenes in movie history, of course, but is watch it again, as I'm sure we all have watched it 394 times at least. When Pacino comes out and he sits down and they start talking Italian again, they start speaking to each other again, and then the voice goes down. That Coppola lowers the Italian voice, and the train in the background, the volume on that goes up and up and up, and it starts to stir in his brain, and that's what drives him to get up and shoot the guy. It's just the best. But yes, that's another quirk. Okay, subject number 2.
No, hold on a second before you get to subject number 2. Dave, yammering Dave Damashek here.
Where was that at Flanagan's when you handed the mic?
He insists on reviewing movies from the 1970s
rolls.
every time. He was too busy eating garlic rolls.
Vampires were
Can we
gone.
get to, for a second, because you may have heard Amin had an off-mic laugh, and I'm used to all manner of narcissism around here. I know what it is Amin was laughing at. A picture was put up of all of us at that Flanagan's, and you will see that in the right-hand side, Amin is doing Kash Patel, and he's laughing at his Kash Patel in the middle of a photograph of all of us. The only thing he's laughing at is looking at his own face.
To be fair, I started laughing at Chris.
The hand placement's weird.
Chris looks like he's about to eat 70 nuggets in that picture right there.
What?
Then I saw myself next to Chris, and I started laughing.
No, look, let's go to the other photo. No, when this photo was put up, you were only looking at you, and you were only laughing at you. When the previous photo was put up that photo, Chris Cody, who says he's never high at work. When the previous
I said
photo,
before a show.
when the previous photo was put up of Chris Cody, Amin's reaction to that was to say to me and to anybody listening, holy shit, Chris Cody is so high in that photo.
Nah, I'm just having a good time with my boy Dave.
Pennsylvania Jones.
Subject number 2, Damashek. Go ahead. I'm surprised, Chris, you got that close to his garlic breath.
This is an outrageous attack on me. That's not why I woke up early on a Friday, was to be assaulted verbally and otherwise. Now, was Jeremy the one in the suspenders?
Yeah, that
there?
was me.
I might go suspenders the rest of my life. I don't know. Maybe it's time to end the belt.
Jeremy's fashion just inspired you to spend the rest of your life in
I'm
suspenders?
a fashion-forward guy.
I'm kind of the age. There's certain fashion choices one makes as you transcend the wrong side of 50.
You're fashion forward when only one word will do. You're 4 words when one word will do.
I don't even know what that means, but I'm going to move on to this.
Hold on. Jeremy's got something he wants to say here. Hold on.
No, Chris has something. Chris?
Hey, Bear.
Jeremy looks super stoned in these photos,
What?
too. I won't let this slide.
Oh, get out of here.
Absolutely
Let's go to deflection.
Not. High on life, baby.
You were saying, Dave.
Well, the other big observation from that party and from my experience in Miami was that Juju is officially too jacked to portray Colin Kaepernick, which I did not anticipate when I got out here. But to the color gold, which is one of the colors that the 49ers wear, I am fascinated by the subject of what counts as being gold/yellow. Now, I know 10-Day Tony doesn't like it when I go Pittsburgh, but the Pittsburgh Steelers colors are properly black and gold. Wiz Khalifa may have said black and yellow, but properly it is black and gold. That color is considered gold alongside the New Orleans Saints and the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. Hell of an engineer.
Yeah.
Hey, Amin, do you remember? You're probably a little too young, but Dan does remember. That was one of the great college basketball teams. Bobby Cremins and all of that in the mid.
I went to school there because of that.
That's the reason he went
Is
to
that
Georgia
right?
Tech.
Yeah,
Yes.
I went there because it was because I was like, oh, there's a lot of basketball there, and I thought there were no winters in Atlanta. That's the other reason.
Isn't it sad that team didn't? I felt like that team deserved something better for the talent.
Did it have
they had.
two
Mark Price?
pros or 3 pros on that team?
Was Geiger on that team?
I don't.
Tom Hammond made it, right?
Hammond made it. Kenny
Mark Price
Anderson
was
made
great.
it. John Sally was earlier. Mark Price was earlier.
No, those guys are 85, 86 before Kenny Anderson.
Right.
But yeah,
I thought you wanted to leave the
Kenny
weapon.
Anderson is the reason he went to school there.
Lethal Weapon 3, right? It was Kenny Anderson, Dennis Scott, and Forrest. Right?
See, I am older than you, and I just proved it. Yeah, John Sally and Bruce Dalrymple and Dwayne Farrell and those.
Okay,
cats.
I'm not
But
doing this with you every time you come
do
on,
this.
Damashek.
Well,
He
you
loves
was
doing
Geiger.
nostalgia through the 70s.
Again, where was
and
that
80s.
when you handed him the mic, Dan?
Let me ask
You went to
about
Matt Geiger's house, didn't you, once?
the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know
Yes.
they are proudly black and gold, but
Yes.
that color is yellow. That color is yellow.
Look at that color behind
I know
you.
they identify as black and gold, but that color's yellow. So you said you're fascinated by the differences between gold and yellow. What are the differences between gold and yellow?
I'm not here to articulate the distinction. I'm fascinated by the fact that we call those two things, which are clearly not the same thing, we call them the same thing, which is gold.
The terrible towel is clearly yellow.
Again, this feels like an attack on the roots on
You had 25 garlic rolls. I saw you.
Why is he dressed like a Ghostbuster?
Who's dressed like a Ghostbuster? Like a Ghostbuster? This is a Ghostbusters outfit?
Yeah, like
I'm wearing black, and I literally put this shirt on, and I forgot that I did. I literally put this shirt on for you guys because you were talking about the color gold, and I think that it's beige is close enough that it could pass
You're
for Georgia Tech gold.
That's brown.
It's brown?
It's khaki. It's also the same shirt that you wore during our taping of Football America.
I was trying for continuity.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have to say, spoiler alert, we did already have our conversation, and I think it was a grand one. I enjoyed it immensely. We did the midseason awards for this NFL season. We discussed things like what guys keep every week. You guys, Mike being responsible for this, perpetuating who's an MVP 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in, 7 weeks in. Okay, now we've transcended the midway point in the season. We can start having this conversation. But which guys keep getting mentioned as MVP candidates even though they have zero chance of ever winning the MVP? Dan, any thoughts on that?
I hate this every year. I hate that we switch from week to week who's the MVP candidate. I don't like it as an entertainment option generally.
Dave, this is why I invented the MVP conversation bar, because there are people who are in that conversation, but they have no chance of actually winning it. See, to gain entrance into the MVP conversation bar, you have to have someone say, he should be in the MVP conversation. Are you going to vote MVP for him? Well, no. Well, now he's standing in the side. Now, the guy in the middle of the bar, holding court, drink in hand, everyone just enwrapped with every word he says, that guy, that's the guy who's has an actual chance of winning MVP.
I don't mean to undo or undercut what it is you guys are doing. I'm sure you will make it entertaining, but just as a tether, whenever I look up at television, and invariably they have to make 2 hours of sports television, but they only have 30 minutes of sports news, they end up in one of these graphics that says, who's on the hot seat? More pressure on somebody. Mm-hmm. Should somebody be in the MVP conversation when it's all just who are the 9 best players in the league?
How do you react, Coach, to a lot of people out there are saying, like, are you one of those people saying it? Or because you're awfully passive in the way you're setting this question up. You don't think that, though, right? Reporter asking the coach that question.
You see how you look like a Ghostbuster in this photo, right? Like,
no, I don't.
It's the same. You do. It's the same shirt. It looks like the same shirt, the same collar. It looks like the same look from Bill Murray and Ghostbuster.
Egon.
Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm going to lose the shirt, and then you're all going to be sorry for that. Then it's not going to be just Mac Jones with the,
don't threaten us with a good
with
time.
the weird nipples. Hey, yeah, I mean, I love it, and as we discuss on Football America, and my favorite is this thing, the cheat that the voters have provided themselves, the fallback of like MVP. No, Offensive Player of the Year. Come on. Like, please keep them straight here. Like, what? Can you articulate the difference? It's kind of like Steelers gold versus Georgia Tech gold. What can you tell me the difference there?
Yeah,
because
one's yellow and the other one's
Offensive
gold.
Player of the Year and the other one's the MVP. How are you distinguishing between the two?
Sam Darnold is different this year than last year, right? The Sam Darnold who lost the last 2 games of the season and spent a bunch of the season winning 1-score games. This is not the same offense, not the same team, not the same quarterback, correct?
I agree. And then you have to wonder, KOC, they offered Sam Darnold in Minnesota, but they didn't offer him the full amount, as it were, the way Seattle did. And so he left and they turned the page to J.J. McCarthy, as you would have expected them to, given the way Darnold finished the season. He was out there to be had by everybody. I wonder if, I know we talk about it a lot, but KOC, in a world of alleged QB whispers, there are in fact maybe 3 or 5 of them, and I think KOC is the genuine article with that. I mean, did he sprinkle fairy dust on Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones? All things kind of run back through Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Andy Reid, and now KOC, it seems. Good quarterbacks who pass through those guys end up better for the experience. And even though Darnold and Jones are away from him, they did spend time with him last year, and look at them thriving now.
Do you believe in Seattle and Denver? Are those teams that you're saying to yourself, I do not see them knocked out in the playoffs easily? It would be a surprise or not a surprise if Sam Darnold and Bo Nix are knocked out early.
Seattle, much more so than Denver. Obviously, that offense ain't great, but I also buy that Sean Payton, who probably has lost a little of the luster of being one of those QB whisperers, I do think that the way they're constructed, dominant defensively, can bang you running the ball, and is Bo Nix going to be a liability in January? I guess that's the question at this point. Otherwise, yeah, I buy that team. I think it's a big one. Talk about MVPs. Guys who will get floated as MVPs who have no chance of winning it. Bo Nix. I mean, if that team wins the AFC West, that alone makes the case.
Damashek, take that
I hear
back.
you.
Damashek,
I think it's an absurd thing to say, but I'm talking about results.
Dave, I like you. Don't do this to yourself.
Don't do this, Dave.
Mike did this to himself earlier this week. Don't do this to
Take
yourself.
those words out of your mouth.
I am saying what the narrative will be. If they win the division, things get fuzzy about how good the individual is.
Many are saying.
Yeah. Now, Dan, a lot of people are talking about Bo Nix as an MVP.
Nobody's talking about that.
No, I know. But you know who they're not talking about also more legitimately in the same division is, what if the Chargers actually win the division? Doesn't Justin Herbert kind of have to be a top 2 or 3 candidate for the MVP? And yet I don't hear him mentioned
One of the things happening with Herbert that is really interesting to me is, because he is not won substantively in the playoffs, because some people want to question what looks like the prototype ability of a quarterback, people are not taking into account how hard it is to do what he has done, given how often he's getting hit. He is getting hit more than any quarterback in the league. He gets hit all the time. The pressure is ridiculous, and he'll probably get knocked out at some point of a game or of the playoffs. But that guy is playing extraordinarily well. When the moment that Alt goes out on that team, all of a sudden there are 7 defenders on him every time Alt goes out, and he's always going out.
Yeah, and you think about why Jim Harbaugh succeeds everywhere he's gone. He immediately, on the first day in the office, he gets to work on the offensive line and becoming physical. And so, obviously, they leaned into that spot in the draft and otherwise. And now both of their potentially dominant tackles, or at least high pedigree guys, are out now. And here come the Pittsburgh Steelers, who looked like junk defensively, inexplicably almost, for a giant swath of the first half of the season. Is everything right now because they turned the Colts over 6 times to the Steelers 0 turnovers? This is a fascinating matchup on Sunday Night Football. If Herbert, I mean, that'll be another chip, obviously, but this is a huge spot, and I agree with you completely, Dan. I would take the Chargers blindly, except for the fact, man, they don't have their tackles, and here comes T.J. Watt, who's maybe, I talk about diminished maybe a little bit, but Alex Highsmith and the rest of that pass rush. It's going to be interesting to see how this breaks for both those teams and what it means going forward for these two teams. But the game of the day on Sunday, in terms of, like, if you're somebody who likes to slow down on the freeway and look at car wrecks, is there anything funnier going right now than the Cleveland Browns going into play the New York Jets? And I dare say this may be the saddest note of the entire football season. The Jets, there's a pro football team hosting the Cleveland Browns, and that home team is an underdog to the Browns. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the disgrace? Fold it up, Woody. Fold it up. It's over.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is Browns Jets the saddest note of this season-long musical? Did you guys cover on Football America any or all of the transactions? Because I think that the one that people are talking about most is the Colts saying, okay, we're going to line up to try and compete with the Chiefs in the AFC. We're going to get somebody who can cover. And the thing you just don't see very much anymore, 2 first-rounders and a surprise in the middle of the season. Nobody had the Jets trading Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's numbers have gone down for a couple of seasons, but I thought that's because their pass rush has gone down, that's the reason that has happened. I think one of the reasons Surtain is so good is because that Denver pass rush is amazing with 4. What did you have to say about the trades, and which one did you find most interesting?
Well, I think you just hit it with Sauce Gardner is the one, and obviously it means a great deal to the Colts. It also is interesting more vainly and more having to do with a conversation I had 1 week ago today with Pablo Torre, and we talked about the newsbreakers. Fascinating. How did the newsbreakers? How did the Sauce Gardner trade happen without any of the newsbreakers, the insiders who have their ear to the ground and they have their 17 phones so they can't enjoy dinner and they can't have a normal life? None of them saw the Sauce Gardner trade happening. Oh, stunner, eh? But I think that.
What are you inferring there? What are you inferring there? Yes, the insiders
that those people
don't have
are not journal. I mean, it's the pap of. I hate the grift of that. These people have some information that they don't actually have. What evidence is there? If you're an insider, if you're somebody who's talking to both sides, shouldn't you periodically be able to, in advance of the actual news event, tell us? I'm hearing that this is.
What are you alleging? What are you alleging?
That those people are not practicing actual journalism. Pablo Torre is practicing investigative journalism.
Yeah.
I'm a goon.
Too.
I'm not doing either. I'm cracking wise. I'm not. So I'm not taking slaps at anybody. And because I'm doing better journalism, I'm not doing any journalism whatsoever. I'm talking hooey and applesauce now.
Again with the hooey and applesauce reference.
Twice. I like that. Twice or 3 times.
Add that to my lexicon.
But why applesauce? Why isn't it sufficient with just hooey? Why are you adding a side of applesauce to that?
Dan, when you have 10 minutes and you want to have a good laugh, open up the thesaurus and look up the word nonsense. A real good thick thesaurus. It is the synonyms for nonsense are the best in the world, and hooey and applesauce are 2 of my favorites, and it's a tough list to choose from. I think that it's weird, and I've been asking. I was on with Zaz on his show earlier this week, and I talked to Tende Tony and to Mike about this as well. As AFC East observers and people who obsess over it, I feel sad for Dolphins fans, legitimately, that you guys saw Tom Brady leave. So now here's your opportunity. By the way, he tried to buy the Dolphins and failed and install himself as quarterback. We've talked about that. And then in the interim, you think you got the guy. Not you, the guys, in fact, in McDaniel and Tua. Oh, wow, it's a whole new era for us here in the AFC East. And then that flames out. And on the other side, the Patriots have solved the quarterback position once again. So I feel sad for you there. The 2 have-nots in the division, the Dolphins and the Jets. Which is more appealing to you? Which seat would you rather sit in as a fan? Because the Jets just gave away 2 guys who, by position, are essential in pro football in the 21st century. Obviously, interior pass rusher and shutdown corner, or would-be shutdown corner. And now they get 2 first-round picks basically to replace those guys. They just, at a cheaper rate, is basically the bid that they're making here. Or the Dolphins, who are kind of just still what they were before the trade deadline, minus 1 guy who was a nice player for you, injury prone though he was. Which is the better spot to be in?
Dave, I have an update for you. I went to the thickest, heaviest thesaurus I could find, thesaurus.com, and I put in nonsense. And they've got 3 categories: strongest matches, strong matches, and weak matches. Under strong matches,
Twaddle.
I found hooey. I did not find applesauce anywhere.
I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised that he will never in his life go again with another segment that has a player named Sauce traded in it, and he went hooey and applesauce twice without doing anything with Sauce Gardner.
It didn't play on words at all.
Didn't do anything. He'll never have that opportunity again.
Well, you just cleaned it up for me. We'll fix this in post, right?
Yeah.
Somebody can edit this all together so it sounds like I got it.
This is live.
Claptrap is one of the ones on the list that I like that one. Claptrap. Try to work that one.
Twiddle, twaddle are 2 of them.
Tripe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Have you guys ever heard the expression hooey and applesauce?
Nope.
That's not something
No, I
any of you
Googled
had
it, and the
heard.
first thing that comes up is
Dave
Dave
Dameshek?
Dameshek. Yeah. There's a tweet of his from 2016 saying hooey and
All right, get rid of
applesauce.
him right
There's
now.
fandom.com.
People like Greg Cody in that way.
Get
A
him
which
phrase
is
regularly used by Dave
Get
Dameshek.
him out of here. Get
like
him-
dancing swords a little bit.
Get him out of here. It's Football America. It's Monday and Friday. Thank you, Dave. Good talking to you. We are done with you now. Enough of that.
Go bust some ghosts.
Rambling Rack.
Football America. I don't know the difference between gold and yellow. I don't know
I
why
do.
the Steelers are. The Steelers are. Look, I'm looking at the uniform.
It's yellow.
That's yellow. That's not gold. That's not gold. I don't gold. I think of gold as being a harder kind of yellow. Yellow is brighter than gold.
Yeah.
I don't know what distinctions you guys are making between yellow and gold, but yellow is brighter than
Don't
gold.
let him gaslight you into this. Wiz Khalifa had it right. It's yellow.
Black and Gold wouldn't have been a good song. Black and Gold, Black and Gold.
No.
Pittsburgh Pirates also black and yellow. Not
Pittsburgh
black and gold.
Penguins.
Black and
It's the
yellow.
entire,
Black
yeah,
and
we've
yellow.
covered this extensively. The entire city has the same color scheme.
Well, the Penguins started as blue, but they switched to black and yellow.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Come on, play with us here, Roy.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you
Facts.
know that the Pittsburgh Penguins started with blue instead of black and yellow? And put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Could you articulate to your friends the difference between gold and yellow? Who is our Hampton Farms Nuttiest Fan winner after doing the nominees? I don't know who the nominees were. You're having a lot of trouble with that costume. How swampy is it in that costume, Chris
You
Cody?
can call me Dave Dameshek.
Oh.
Dan, this week's Hampton Farms winner, congrats to Shirtless Ab Guy of the Colorado Boulders. They are this week's nuttiest fan. Get nutty with Hampton Farms, the official peanut of bowl season.
It's been unpleasant as a costume, correct?
I'm telling you, way worse than the wings.
Really?
The Nuggets, not
Is it
wings.
tougher than my cowboy costume? Because that was. Don't want to do that again.
This stinks.
Let me ask you guys a question from all of last weekend's football. There was one story that caught my eye more than any of the others, and it was the story that Brian Schottenheimer, the coach of the Cowboys, I'm guessing you guys didn't see this, but this seems like it would be a pretty major inconvenience. Brian Schottenheimer, the night before the game against the Cardinals that they lost, was thinking about leaving his house entirely and staying somewhere else because an owl had gotten into his house. And he couldn't get rid of the owl, didn't know how to get rid of the owl, and was confused as to what do I do now? There is an owl in my house. And so I'm asking all of you in practical terms, A, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you ever had an owl in your house? And B, outside of calling pet control, what would you guys do if the owl, a notoriously dumb bird, even though it has the reputation for being wise, a big bird, a bird of prey that might do something to your pets? I don't know whether an owl would like to have a small dog or a small cat that it would like to get into a fight with. What would any of you do if there were an owl in your house? How the hell do you get an owl out of your house?
Sorry, who are we talking about?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Who?
Don't do that.
Who?
I should
cut my knees off, man.
You should get out, Roy. For answering that question, Roy. You need to get out and take Jeremy with you.
Okay, come on, Jeremy.
Wow.
Let's go.
A who joke off of an
By the way,
owl.
good luck with Chris doing this job
I
right
was
now.
say, what are you doing there? You're sabotaging the
I
show.
don't have an owl in my house, but I have an owl outside my house that lives in my fishtail palms. And it was a terrifying experience when I discovered this because it was dusk and I was just chilling on my phone outside watching my dog, and this pterodactyl flies into my fishtail palms. I drop my phone, I hit the ground, I didn't know what was going on. And then I was looking for it, and a couple days later it was just camouflaged in my fishtail palms, staring right at me. I'm afraid of birds because I was attacked when I was younger by a bird. I didn't call animal control. I don't exactly know what to do. Then I had another raptor, another bird of prey, chasing a smaller bird directly into my fishtail palms as well. Crash. Thundering. It's like when they lured that calf into the raptor pit in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I don't like this one bit, Dan.
So, to be clear, the bird wasn't terrified of your terrifying dog?
My terrifying dog is a whippet, and it's, mid-size.
I'm just saying it looks terrifying.
No,
Like
the
if I
bird
were
was- the bird was bigger. I know you think my dog is ugly, and you're
I
an asshole
think
that way.
it's frightening. It looks like an alien. If I were a bird, I'm like, what the hell is that? Well, I'm going
I'd
somewhere
like
else.
Mike to explain again what he did when first seeing this bird, because it sounded like you
I
dropped
felt
your
it.
phone and
Yeah.
then combat rolled.
I
You said
got low.
you hit the ground. You got low.
You gotta get low.
Do we have security footage of this?
When someone buzzes the tower, Dan, you go low.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Doggy that said stay low?
You gotta stay low.
Oh,
that's exactly what I was doing. I don't know if another one's coming.
Who is he telling to stay low?
I don't know what's happening
I think
right
it was
now.
Tom Brady's dad.
Right? Tom Brady's dad originally.
I'll get it.
But he did it. He did it again this week. We
How do you
played the
turn this off?
sound of him talking about. Josh, you saw this. So he talked about the Dodgers play-by-play guy, and he was really upset that he hosted
Chris has
the
got
championship parade, and so he told him, "Hey, because you're the national voice, you do the Fox games, whatever. You got to stay low." The Dodgers should have told him stay low until the heat goes over or whatever.
We are going to sit here and stare at Chris Cody until he figures out how to find the sound of Mad Dog telling Tom Brady's dad to stop doing interviews and to just stay low as a personality. We're going to just keep watching a terrified Chris Cody, Dave Dampacek, try to figure out how to work the console.
To explain to people who are listening or aren't watching, Chris is moving his head rapidly up and down. The reason why is because he can only see through the mouth hole. So he has to look down to the keyboard and then look up.
But also, the way that he's moving suggests, even though we can't see his face, a complete and total panic. Now he's got to find how
buddy.
to use his paw in order to hit the right button. He's got to take off his paw and hit the right button. Come on, you can do it, Chris. I feel the segment's ending and you're almost there. Give us the sound we need of Mad Dog criticizing Tom Brady's dad in a way that's
Just
totally
a muffled bleep me
nonsensical.
under a costume.
We'll just wait for you.
Shut the hell up! Shut up! Keep your mouth shut! Your son got nailed. Keep your freaking mouth shut. Framegate my. Shut up. Stay low. Shut the hell up. Framegate. Are you kidding me? Come on, the guy cheated, folks. Let's be honest. I gotta listen to Tom Brady's old man now, who has lived in the bubble. And has lived under the scenario where his kid's been a phenomenal player all this time, and now he's trying to disparage the guy who spent 246 pages writing about it. Shut up. Put that guy on. See if he's got the guts to talk to somebody who's going to ask him a tough question. Go ahead. Better yet, put his son on. Let's see what he has to say. Put your son on. Don't hide. USA Today. Come on, talk shows. Hey, come on now. Come on right now. Say that to me. Say that to anybody. Say it to somebody.
Unfortunate.
I never got to say that where we park our cars is a urine-smelling garage.
Cody, how do you feel about how this goodbye is going?
It's his goodbye.
Yeah, I feel great about it, and I don't want to step on his lines here, but when I take over as executive producer, as soon as Woody teaches me all the buttons, I'm going to really give it my all. So, Woody, thank you for leaving me that job.
I've been told you're in the running, Greg.
Number 2.
Never got to describe something in quotes, as in inverted commas.
Is Pablo Torre coming in to be the executive producer of the show? Is that what they?
Heard he's also in contention.
What he was hired for? Number 1.
I never got to describe Juju Gotti's incredible sneakers as trainers.
Wow. Go sit in the penalty box.
Bye.
Whoa.
Forever.
Forever.
Love you.
Lifetime. Forever.
Life lifetime ban.
Lifetime major.
I'm just gonna come in a month and just go sit there for an hour and then leave.
It'd be great if you're just always there.
Just put a cardboard cut.
Almost got to the end.
Whenever someone goes to the box, you have to be a cardboard cutout.
His dreams by a lifetime major. How unfortunate on the way out.
You have to do that.
A prison at the end.
Jessica says goodbye to Chris Whittingham.
Jessica has compiled for us a list. I mean, because I don't want to say she is thrilled that Whitty is gone. I would not allege such a thing. But there were sparks created in the tensions of Whitty just generally being annoying and unusual, and I think being more comfortable than anybody in the history of our show showing everybody his weirdnesses.
I love this, that we're just burying him on the day after he leaves.
Well,
we should do this more often.
Do it when he's here.
Enough. No, he's going
We
around,
did, to be fair.
He's taking
I know,
a
I'm
victory lap, and he's like, waving at everybody like, and Mike is calling him one of the greatest human beings he's ever met, and enough.
Well, he is.
Enough with the kid's 30. Enough with the eulogy.
Left me in a lurch, though.
Yeah, that's a great human being for you. Hey, Mike, hold this steaming bag of shit for me. Will I go blow up somewhere else?
I have never heard someone describe themselves as a steaming bag of shit.
Oh, wait, I'm like, what?
You're in the middle of what we're doing. How do you get?
How do you think we got steaming?
We were just a bag of shit, and then you just got here, and the thing really caught fire. Top 5 weirdest things about Chris Whittingham. Is that what the list is?
Well, I decided to make it the top 5 revelations that we learned about Whitty over the last 2 years. He will be missed. Like you said, Dan, we often bickered on air because he could be very disagreeable and contrarian at times. And as a grumpy person, I tended to argue back with him constantly.
OLI? Do we have OLI?
We have one OLI.
Because
Nice.
he gave us so many weirdnesses. And one of the things I truly loved about Whitty, I do past tense there because I no longer love him.
Yes, that's right.
But he is alive, right?
One of the things I loved about Whitty is his great comfort. And yes, that's weird about me. You think it's weird, and I don't care that you think it's weird.
Exactly.
OLI.
He wore 2 watches.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I could never get over that one.
Yeah,
That's only an OLI because he revealed it to us 2 weeks ago. Apple sent him a watch when they hired him.
watch.
And he decided to wear that on one wrist and his wrist watch on the other wrist.
He says he's going to do it going forward, period, that he likes it as a stylistic choice.
Of course he does.
Number
Weirdo.
5. Double bubble fucks him up.
That's right. He ate his gum.
He would swallow his gum every time.
Oh, that didn't even make the list. I forgot about that one.
Well, that's why it fucks him up.
Well,
Wait a second. He would swallow
Every
his
piece
gum?
of gum he's ever had, he swallowed.
He eats all his gum.
That can't be healthy.
But that's not
Well,
even
that's why he says it fucks him up.
But that's not what
why.
Jessica's saying.
That's not why. The double bubble has so much sugar that it fucks him up. And it gives him a headache, and he can't eat double bubble. He revealed that on Mystery Crate last year during our candy draft.
Maybe if he didn't eat it, to Mike's point.
It's why it fucks him up.
I think they're separate revelations, though. I screwed up. That should have been number 5. That he swallows all his gum.
Oh,
That is a ton of sugar, though, is it not? Double bubble is a specific burst of fireworks of sugar.
It's awesome.
More than most gum.
I'm about to throw up.
What is the best gum?
None of them. They're all terrible.
What?
I hate
What do you mean
gum.
by that?
Bazooka.
I hate
No.
gum.
Bazooka is my favorite gum.
No, Bubblicious. Bubblicious. Or what's the one with the juice in the inside? When you take a bite, it like
The fruit.
Gushers.
the fruit
Gushers.
ones?
There you
No,
go.
that's not gum.
That's not gum.
I think that is Bubblicious.
There's one that's a gum that
There
has-
is something that has like a jelly in it. Yes,
Yeah.
it's just a burst of extra syrupy sugar.
Yeah.
How about Big League Chew?
Big
I
League
love
Chew's
that.
good.
Nasty.
But for
Little
30
bag of
seconds.
Big League
After
Chew.
30 seconds.
Everyone's
Yeah,
grandma
30
likes Big
seconds.
Red, right?
Yeah.
Big O.
My grandma used to
Big
eat
Red's good.
cinnamon gum, and it would
Yeah.
burn the shit out of
So,
my tongue,
when
and I
we
would
tra-
still eat it.
When we traded for Shaq, the first game, he beckons me over. Shaq has this weird thing where he doesn't want to talk sometimes.
Big Aristotle.
So he just literally beckons me over with one finger. And I say, yeah, big fella, what do you need? And he goes, he points to his mouth and he goes,
This week, look at me. I'm wearing the same clothes when I ate all the nuggets. I'm dealing with that, and it's a lot. I swallow 5 swords.
Keep going. You're on a roll.
We talk about our most ideal breakfast.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Our
That was
number one
good.
breakfast.
Ooh,
that
what
we
was it?
want.
Oh, we didn't get yours, Jeremy. You weren't here for that.
Yeah.
No, we can't do it now.
What's your go-to breakfast order?
Yeah, what's your go-to breakfast order, Jeremy?
Eggs with a little hash brown, a bagel, and some turkey sausage.
Ours are way more interesting. All right, and then
keep going. Hurry.
And
Chris is welcoming a new member of his
I
family.
have a
this
new.
week.
I
you
adopt.
remember the
Wow.
family.
Yeah, Chris
on
is
the way
adopting.
to adoption. I'm
Yeah.
on the way to adoption as we speak.
And we get very heated about AI videos
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
some reason.
Okay, bye.
Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time, the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
I don't know what you guys would nominate as better than this in terms of stuff that the media loves to have and play with. But Coach getting snippy with reporter is very high on the list of things that we delight in. Correct? Press conference sound of a coach handing down judgment, arrogance, condescension. So Bill O'Brien, if you were not aware, Bill O'Brien is now the coach of Boston College. Boston College is pretty terrible this year, and Bill O'Brien evidently didn't like what he was asked here, and Bill O'Brien went maximum Bill O'Brien, and the reporter ends up getting swallowed in the butt chin that Bill O'Brien has.
Coach, I'm wondering, do you have a message for the fans? Obviously losing to Notre Dame, Catholic school rival, 1-8 now in the season of BC. I've heard from a lot of fans. I just really
I'm really glad. You know, I'm glad you're down. I'm not down. Nobody's down. We're fighting. We're competing. You know, it's the second year of this program, Mike. You always come in here with these down questions. Like you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. I don't know what year you graduated from BC, but this is a program that we're building. Nobody here's down. We're positive. We're going to show up and play our asses off against SMU. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up, and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
Hey,
Trevor's feeling a lot better than Mike in that situation. Does Mike, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, does Mike always show up with the down questions?
What's up, Trevor?
Hey,
We're going to have to clarify that for context for people.
Do you have to earn the right? That this begs the question. Do you have to earn the right to ask a down question? Like, if I show up like 4 times a year for an NBA season, am I allowed to ask? Like, I feel like you have to earn the right. Be there every day, and then you can ask me the tough questions.
Then you can be down?
That's what he's saying. You can't show up once a month and come in with just the down questions where everyone sees that you're the person who comes in with the down questions. You got to be around a little more than that.
I know What's Up, Trevor is the funny part of this, but I love how Bill O'Brien cut him off, knowing exactly what Mike's brand is here. Like, can we play the beginning? Like, he's like, you know what? Like, I don't know what year you went to BC and you bomb in once a month. I love this response from Bill O'Brien.
Coach, I'm wondering, do you have a message for the fans? Obviously losing to Notre Dame, Catholic school rival, 1-8 now in the season of BC. I've heard from a lot of fans. I just really
I'm really glad. You know, I'm glad you're down.
Really glad.
I'm not down. Nobody's down. We're fighting. We're competing. You know, it's the second year of this program, Mike. You always come in here with these down questions. Like you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. I don't know what year you graduated from BC, but this is a program that we're building. Nobody here's down. We're positive. We're going to show up and play our asses off against SMU. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up, and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
Hey, dude.
His message to the
Trevor's
fans.
like, how you doing?
Trevor, how you doing?
Sun is up, we're fighting.
I do enjoy the idea that not only does he cut off the question, but he cuts off the question by telling down Mike, I'm glad you're down. I'm glad. Like, I think he meant to say, I'm glad you're here so I can get all of this off of my chest. But instead, what he just said is, I'm glad you're down. That's classic hating, is it not? To say to somebody, I'm glad you're down would be classic hating. Hating 101, would it not?
It would be. Put the town on alert for SMU, too.
Wow.
Really?
20 years of watching a team get
Find
a
it, Dan,
signature
find
win
it.
against Miami.
You love those
your
letdown
glasses on,
games.
And then stroll into a noon start in the ACC.
Put the town on alert.
Put the town on alert. Lots of town on lots of alerts this week. It's going to be a bloody
you want to
week.
do it? Go ahead.
Put the town on alert.
Well, everyone's on Iowa to beat Oregon. Who's Oregon beating Northwestern?
Bad weather game, too, right?
I
Bad
mean,
weather.
that's at Iowa. We like Iowa there.
Put the town on alert.
Town on alert. This line isn't moving in a direction that I would like, but Mississippi State, they're a tough team. Georgia,
Sneaky decent.
yeah, Georgia winning within the margins. Put the town on
Put the
alert.
town on alert.
They won their first conference game in 2 years last week.
Yeah.
I just like to remind everybody that's not Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak saying put the town on alert. That's Mike doing Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak saying
Put the town on alert.
and you do it better than Pierce Brosnan did.
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's me. Who knows? Put the town on alert. Wisconsin plus 11.5. I think they can win that game straight up. Now, they have been terrible in conference play, but this conference, bottom part of the conference, just a bad conference.
Put the town on
Overrated.
alert.
But Luke Fickell just got that extension. Play hard for coach. Plus 11.5. Well, he didn't get the extension. He got the vote of confidence. Rhett Lashley got the extension. Put the town on alert. We got so many. Penn State, 14.5. What are you playing for, right? Yeah, you got quarterbacks.
You're going to take Penn State against Indiana?
And Indiana rolls teams, but 14.5 at Happy Valley.
No, wait.
When you put the roll in a Happy Valley, put the town on alert.
When you put the town on alert, it's to win the game. It's not to cover 14.5.
Oh. Put the town on alert.
Put the town on alert.
Put the town on alert. I think that this is the signature game for this interim head coach whose name I don't care to learn over in Penn State. Now, this one, the line is moving in the right direction because I locked it in at 5.5, and I think Tulane wins this game straight up. Memphis put the town on alert.
Put the town on alert.
Memphis really derailed my beloved South Florida Bulls. The way that
They
South
looked good
Florida
last night.
fell apart in the fourth quarter, they've got no pass rush is the problem South Florida has. But Memphis is very good in second halves, and Memphis destroyed South Florida in the fourth quarter of that game because I really did think South Florida was had an angle to be a playoff team because of how they score, how good they are offensively.
Don't write them off just yet. Tulane can help them out tonight when they win straight up against Memphis.
We were talking earlier about Tom Brady, and I'm wondering how much you guys got into the story last week because I really found this a bit shocking, and perhaps I shouldn't have. But I, as a pet lover, as an animal lover, cannot fathom the idea of cloning a pet. That is not the same pet. Once you've removed the soul, which cannot be manufactured, you've just got a pet running around your house that is the physical embodiment of the pet that you have lost, but is not the actual pet anymore. And the thing that I thought, and again I thought it, is he bleeping with us? Is Tom Brady just doing something to actually create headlines? Or am I being fooled by the internet? Because Tom Brady would be among those most likely to try some of these things, but it's so robotic that I was not offended by it, but it is something that I would not do.
This guy thinks pets have souls.
What's the mechanics of it?
Grow up.
Like there has to be a surrogate dog, right?
No, I think they just create it in like a
can't just
petri
create.
dish
What do you
and-
have
and
an
then, like,
oven? You can't
incubate
just
it.
create a dog.
What do you mean? Do you not remember Dolly the sheep? They did that like 25
I
years ago.
guarantee you, they are like. It's a surrogate dog that is like birthing the dog.
I don't think he works that
They
way.
take the blood. They the way they do it with humans. Like how? Like what you guys just think? Like there's an oven. They put a code in, and all of a sudden a dog walks out.
Chris, they've been able to clone animals for 25 goddamn years.
I guarantee you, this is a surrogate situation. Which would then you beg the question: is it really?
Stop
the
begging
same dog?
questions, man. Stop begging them.
But you're begging it.
I'm not.
I don't think Chris realizes how funny it is for him to lecture us about how humans do things while dressed as a bear. while visually pointing at us, getting angry. But
drinking coffee.
So would you guys do this? Amin is not an animal person, but would you guys ever put it on the poll at Le Batard Show?
He's going to look it up.
Would you clone your pet? Because I believe this was just all this was science lab stuff. I believe that all they did was take some of the DNA of the original dog and then go to a lab and do whatever scientists do to clone things.
Yeah, and Dan, you say like the soul. You don't want to say soul, like the memories. This dog doesn't know you, bro. It's just a new dog that looks exactly like your old dog. But here's the thing about dogs, at least for me, I feel like every day I see dogs that I've seen a million times before. You go to the pound and pretty much find, unless your dog had like vitiligo or something, you're going to find the same dog at the pound somewhere or at the dog store, wherever you guys get dogs, right? Is it like podcasts?
The rescue. The rescue. It's not like podcasts wherever you get your dog.
Yeah. So I'd be like, it's such an unnecessary step because the thing that you're trying to recreate is not the physical, it's the emotional. It's the dog that knows me and remembers that time that I didn't even remember. I don't even know about that, man.
This is the reason that I think that Tom Brady is among those most likely to embark on this particular journey is because I really do feel sometimes like Tom Brady is trying to learn all the tricks he needs to learn on how to be human. That he's the closest thing that we have to a robot or an alien trying to impersonate a human being.
Dan, you missed a great episode of the Dan Le Batard Show then because our theory was different. Our theory was he's doing it because it's a test subject for when he eventually clones himself. And then I had a theory that went beyond that and that he's already cloned himself. That's how he kept winning championships despite being 1,000,000 years old. How does he do it? It's because he was a clone.
You guys think this is creepy, right? Most people listening to this do think it's weird to clone an animal, no matter what your or your children's attachment to that animal is. Mike, you wouldn't consider cloning Roma. In fact, Roma is, I would imagine that your relationship with Roma, memories and all, is almost not a physical relationship. I know you're playing with a dog, but the things that that you love about Roma are personality based, things that are unique to Roma.
Terror.
Yeah, I think there's also like some spiritual stuff that would be difficult for me to come to grips with, but I would like to talk to people about it, not just the people doing the science, but like, get some feedback. I don't know do you know Barbara Streisand? Can I speak to her? How'd this go? I would like to know, like, was it kind of like it or did it just look like it? Because if it just looks like it, it's not the same dog
but Mike,
to me.
I'm assuming, never mind just looking like it, I'm assuming if there was a way that your dog ran and all of a sudden you've got a clone that's running differently, now you're reminded every time, that's not my dog. That is not, that you're reminded all the time that your dog is dead.
I mean, I don't think it's just going to be like this soulless creature that has dead eyes that looks at me that doesn't have like its own charming personality that I can fall in love with. And I think I would take solace in like, well, a little piece of Roma is in there. It would be like, I follow this guy that owns some of like Roma's siblings because we adopted Roma and her siblings are all over the place. And we found like some of her brothers and sisters and I get a kick out of it. I would love to like adopt
just a dog. It's just a dog. You like dogs. That's all it comes down to. It's not like, Mike, is that you?
No,
what happened? It's like, no, the dog doesn't know anything. It's just being a dog.
I'm well aware of your whole bit when it comes to pets.
That's not a bit. Like, it's a dog,
Yeah,
dude.
I got it.
There's no part of the clone dog that's going to be like, you look familiar, like I've known you from a life before. No, it's just a dog. Like, feed me, walk me, all that. And you're going to be like, oh, you're a dog and you look like my old dog. I love you. But there's no part of this where there's any sort of spiritual connection. No bit of your dog exists in the clone. It's just a dog. Get one of Roma's siblings. You're probably going to think it's the same
I believe
dog.
you're emotionally mature enough to have this conversation with me.
It seems that the bear might have been right here. I'm going to read from an article here. If you decide to clone your dog, there are a couple things to be aware of. For one, the cloning process doesn't always lead to a viable egg, and even dog pregnancies sometimes fail. That implies a pregnancy. They don't make these things in an oven. It's a surrogate.
There was that one time that Tom Brady's face changed, right? It went from very jowly to very sharp, and it was like maybe he was contrasted, like in Westworld, like increased sharpness of jaw.
No, you know what?
Clone.
You know what that is? That's multiplicity. Because in multiplicity, as he keeps Xeroxing himself, the clones, you remember this, Roy, they begin to deteriorate in like quality, right? So it's like, oh, you look a little weird. You're acting a little weird.
You should touch my pappy, Steve.
Can we get the video, please, of something that I think requires and demands more attention? If you're not familiar with how crazy it is that athletes are aging better than they ever have, Ovechkin did something no player has ever done before. He scored his 900th goal. That's not something that anyone has ever done. So it's historic. And the goalie for that he had hidden the puck. He was absolutely trying to steal it, right? Was he gonna try and sell that on the open market? Like what was he gonna? Did he just want to keep it? I'm the guy who allowed the 900th goal. That would be a source of shame to most. But he wanted to compound the shame by stealing the puck.
Or maybe he just wanted to make sure it went to Ovechkin and he would hand deliver it. Or he's a goalie. They're all insane and he's just having fun.
It's probably the latter, considering that the linesman will probably pick the puck up out and go and hand it to the trainer on the Capitals.
Yeah, he's just insane. I don't like that guy. He ripped my heart out at the Four Nations.
Yeah.
I mean, goalies are strange. In fact, by position, I think that, let me think about this for a second, in terms of positions throughout sports.
You got your middle linebacker that always has to be crazy.
Kicker.
No, yeah, the kickers get personality.
Well, they're just strange.
No, but I think goalies, thank you. That's
Closers.
That's the conversation we're having.
But they're strange. No. They're strange compared to everybody else, but they're normal people. Closers. Good one. Fist me, Bear.
Yeah, but goalies, I think, win the category. If I would put on the poll, put all of these on the poll. Strangest person, goalie, kicker, middle linebacker, closer. Those are the four. Are we going? Is there a fifth category? There are none in basketball, correct?
Well, we've got two in basketball. One is 7-footers generally tend to be very strange people, even by basketball standards. Also, I don't know if this is universal across all sports, but in basketball, if you're from Seattle, you're probably a weirdo.
I'm going to eliminate Seattle, but I am going to put 7-footers on there. The University of Florida played the tallest player ever played yesterday, Rue, the guy off the bench, 7'9". 7'9" is the tallest player to ever take the court. And I believe, wasn't there someone around here? I don't remember who it was who said that they had the blueprint on how to defend Wemby now. That the blueprint you have.
The blueprint is out, Dan, and you know how I know things, right? Tony finds out very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly. So what I've realized is, hey, if you have a smaller guy on Wemby who's physical, who's going to rake his hands every time he touches the ball, it seems to work out. And that was the blueprint last year when the Thunder were on their way to the championship. It's like, hey, why don't we just bother Jokic with a smaller guy, force him to create on his own? In the opposite side, where Wemby's like, damn, I can't create because this guy's just always
so a
bothering
PJ
me.
Tucker type is the way to defend.
I like that body type. Yeah, absolutely.
Get someone small and stocky and physical, pushing them out. Then you got a coordinated trapping attack, attacking from the blind side. I thought the Suns did a good job in delivering the Spurs' first loss in terms of they sent help, and then the guy at the nail rotates out to where the help came from, and they just had this kind of this.
It was like a motion defense, basically.
Like a motion defense, and it's all based on, look, he can't see everything. It might actually work more for Wemby than it would for Jokic. Jokic is such a great passer.
He can see everything.
Yeah, Wemby's not there yet in terms of passing, so it's a way more effective strategy. Unfortunately for this kid, for Florida, Rue, you don't need all that.
He's a stiff.
Yeah, just shove him out.
In a way, Wemby's not. But again, it's interesting to see, like, all right, he's got these incredible games where they're trying to defend him with another big, and then all of a sudden you see the games where they've tried this scenario, and it's like 9 points, 15 points. It's like, oh, wait a second.
But you guys are like me, right? I think that I would represent what would be the normal human reaction of any sports fan. You hear a guy is 7'9", and what sweeps over you is sadness for that person, correct? That has to be a difficult life that he has lived the entirety of his life, or am I different than most on that front?
I think, given thought, yes. I begin to think about, oh, yeah, that must really suck. But is it the first thing I think of? No.
I think he's a stiff, and then I feel sad afterwards.
So you guys don't hear 7'9" and immediately say, "Oh, that life must be tough to just take every daily step through that life physically."
You're so strange, man.
No, I'm like, oh, he could touch the hoop without moving.
No, like it's a thought. It's just not the first one. The first one's like, "Wow, you're huge."
But 7'9", like that.
My first thought is get that guy in the anchor of the 2-3. Stand there, buddy. Do not move.
Why doesn't he block kicks?
Wow.
They tried that. I think this is a guy
But
that
not
they brought him out
7'9".
there. Yeah, well, that shows you. They brought him out to the football fields, and they're like, all right, let's reinvent the game of block and kicks.
Billy Napier's no longer there.
This guy's a stiff.
Just sit him over the nose tackle and just have him stand up.
How bad must
like
that?
this.
Honestly, how bad must that have gone for this guy to not just stand there and do that? He clearly affects it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, except
Like, what is he doing? Sitting down? How bad are you at this practice?
He's in a 3-point stance.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should the 7'9" guy be great at blocking field goals?
Why don't they just move him all the way back to the goalpost? He stands there, and as the ball's coming, swats
Does that
it.
work? Can you do that?
Why not?
Whoa,
You
hold
can
on.
you
There's
can
no
block
goal
it at the LOS.
There's no goaltending?
No.
No one's ever really tried that.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, it's got to be
Hold
against
on.
the rules.
No,
It's
no,
gotta
it's
be
like the
against
tush
rules.
push. It's like the tush push. They're going to have to ban it at some point, but they can't now.
It's not the easiest to jump. Like you guys, it would have to be very close to the crossbar.
Yeah, but
it's
it's
up
easier
there.
for 7'9" guy.
Yeah.
Wait a second, did we just reinvent football?
I think so.
The guy who kicked the 68-yard field goal the other day?
That just went in, exactly. He gets that and
just
slaps
cleared the
it.
crossbar. I mean, put Victor Wembanyama right there. He's tossing that shit over
Exactly
tomorrow.
right. Exactly
we
right.
are brilliant.
You guys believe that it can be done? Because Tony's sitting here with conviction saying that it's allowed, and I'm not sure. It sounds like
Who's
it
ever
would be.
tried to do that?
Sounds
Nobody.
illegal.
They haven't done anything. Yeah, the tush push is illegal,
Yeah,
right?
but they
Okay.
made when you were asking the question, why haven't we seen it yet? The answer might plausibly be because it's illegal.
But if you can block it at the line of scrimmage when it's already in flight, why can't you stop it at the way down?
That guy-
There's no
this-
goaltending.
The sport's
in
got
football.
stupid rules. You can't advance a muff. Why? I don't know.
A fumble rooski, that's why.
I'm assuming that this is against the rules, but I shouldn't assume that because there are any number of things in sports that you can't help but laugh at today that we've been doing it wrong all our lives and we're no longer doing it wrong. Like for example, the 3-point shot is worth more than the 2-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
That is something basketball should have been doing since the 3-point shot was invented in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Like people should have been going for the shot that was worth more. The way football coaches are now behaving on 4th down versus the way they've always behaved on 4th down, and the way baseball players are now saying, you know what? Home runs are much better than stolen bases and one base at a time. It's much better to do. Like, the idea that we could play these sports wrong for 50 years at a time makes me think that somebody somewhere has just overlooked the fact that you can block field goals by standing underneath the crossbar.
I researched this. There is goaltending.
Really?
In the NFL. Yeah, you can't touch the ball once it clears this
What's your
neutral
source?
zone. The line, ChatGPT.
What's it?
I don't know about that. It could be wrong. It says on the bottom. ChatGPT can be wrong.
And again, it is often. Like the time it thought my Halloween costume was an ode to the time I wore a bathrobe on ESPN. I'm like, I never wore a bathrobe on ESPN. What are you talking about? Stupid.
I think it's still out. Jury's still out on ChatGPT's answer.
Here's my belief as to why we haven't seen it happen. It's a couple of things. Number one, to have someone that tall, like we just don't have that walking around in general, right? Forget about in the NFL, just in general. And then most of the kicks, unless they're just about to clear the crossbar, if it's higher, no tall guy's going to be able to get to that one.
Of course.
Right?
That could be 20 feet in the air. I
Yeah.
get that. But
But
when
for
you
those long
trot out a
kicks-
7-footer and you say, all right, they're going for a 60-yard field goal. You have one guy on the
Yep.
roster who's 9 or 7 feet tall or whatever. You trot him out there and you say,
Mhm.
all right, if that thing is close, you swat the shit out of it.
Swat the shit out of it.
Except that we've now found out this is illegal.
ChatGPT, though, it could be wrong.
But before we get to Matthew Berry, did you guys make money
I-
on Matthew Berry last week? Because Matthew Berry is giving you good information here in order to make money. Like he's got
Parker
all-
Washington had a nice game. I know he called him out.
Yes, he had a number of things that he got right. He's gotten a number of things right. The only thing he got wrong, I think, was Daniel Jones.
It is indeed called goaltending. It has been outlawed. Randall Cobb once attempted this. Didn't strike the ball, but had he struck the ball, everyone's saying it would have been a penalty for goaltending.
I don't know.
And I do think that there is a case study. I have to go back into and review the microfiche, but I think a basketball player did force the NFL's hand to put this rule
So
in
do you
place.
think, before we get started in earnest and speed up Matthew Berry, let's just get his expertise on this. Matthew, do you think if I took that Florida Gator stiff Rue, whose first name I don't know, he's 7'9",
Olivier,
and put him on the line to block field goals, do you think he would be good at blocking field goals if I just took a 7'9" guy and put him over the center?
Oh, he's muted.
Okay, he said yes, but his sound is not up there.
we're going to take your word
so
for
hold
it.
on a second. But I saw it. I read his lips, and let's get his sound right. Let's make sure that his sound is right so that the next time I ask him a question, that's not the way that it goes. Roy, what is your level of confidence? I'm glad that the Bear is all over things that he needs to be on this particular instance.
Very high.
So your level of confidence is now good? All right.
Very high.
Very high. Thank
Matthew
you.
Berry.
He said yes, though. You should not.
Yes, I'm in on the 7'9" guy. Yes.
My only worry is the pads. How do you get a pad like that big? The torso is massive on a guy like that, but you got a little pad.
You just put him on the shoulder.
They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. It's like whatever. They got different uniforms every other week in the NFL. They'll figure out a pad size.
Hey, Bear, can you come over here, please, and do the promo for Matthew Berry and give me the music again so that we can celebrate Matthew Berry the way that we're supposed to celebrate Matthew Berry?
Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry. Matthew Berry.
Check out Matthew Berry's Fantasy Football Happy Hour weekdays at noon on YouTube.
Give it to us, Barry. Give us money.
All right. Justin Herbert is third in the NFL in passing yards per game. Quarterbacks that face the Steelers this year are averaging 299 passing yards per game. In fact, the last three to face the Steelers, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, and Joe Flacco, all threw for at least 340 yards. They've also allowed at least 2 total touchdowns to every quarterback they faced this year, except Dylan Gabriel. Justin Herbert not named Dylan Gabriel. Since week 4, the second best quarterback in fantasy points per game, Matthew Stafford, 25, at least 25 in 4 of the last 5. Since week 5, the Niners allow over 21 fantasy points per game. 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks to face the Niners have scored at least 20 fantasy points as well. All right, let's see. Rico Dowdle's had 3 games this year with at least 20 touches. He scored at least 28 fantasy points in each one of them. The reason I bring that up is that running backs have seen at least 15 touches against the Saints this year, are averaging over 17 fantasy points per game. Rico Dowdle last week played 74% of the Panthers' snaps, even with Chuba Hubbard back. In 3 of the last 4 completed games for Quinshon Judkins, one of them he left early due to injury, but the 3 games that he finished, he had at least 24 touches. Okay, since week 2, the Jets are giving up the 4th most rushing yards per game to opposing running backs, and that was before they traded away their 2 best defensive players. Take the over on Judkins' rushing prop. Let's see. In the 5 games since Tyreek Hill's injury, Jalen Waddle's had at least 80 receiving yards in 4 of them. He's averaging over 15 fantasy points per game in that stretch. Buffalo has allowed at least 16.9 fantasy points per game to an opposing wide receiver. In 4 straight games, Dolphins, by the way, are 9.5-point underdogs to Buffalo. They'll be throwing. In games where he's seen at least 7 targets this year, Chris Olave is averaging over 15 fantasy points per game. Here's the Saints depth chart behind Olave now. 32-year-old Brandon Cooks, Devon Bailey, who has 5 receptions on the season, and Mason Tipton, who has 0. Rashid Shaheed now in Seattle. Since week 6, Wan'Dale Robinson has a 30% target share. He averages over 8 targets a game. No team allows more touchdowns to the slot where Wan'Dale Robinson lines up than the Chicago Bears. That's who Wan'Dale plays this week, 4 straight weeks. Oronde Gadsden has finished as a top 12 tight end. He's averaging almost 18 fantasy points per game during that stretch. And so far this year, the Steelers, once again, rank bottom 5 in the NFL in terms of most receiving yards, most fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends.
Excellent work, Barry. You're cashing in this year, right? You're doing well. You're doing well so far. Better than usual, or
things have been good to me. It's gone well. It's gone well. I don't know that I'm better than usual. It's been a pretty typical year. You get a lot of stuff right. You get some things wrong, and hopefully you finish in the money. And so far, it's been I've been doing this a long time, so it's gone well for me.
My enthusiasm that people questioned at the beginning is not insincere once I realize that this man is giving away money. This tends to be something that makes me a little bit happier than I was now that I'm a little more informed about my betting practices. Yes.
It's an indictment that it took you that long.
Yeah, I understand that I'm late to this particular game.
This all plays to props.
Matthew, good talking to you. Thank you, as always, for making the time for us every week, sir.
Appreciate it always, Dan. We'll see you next week.
All right. I see that the group back there has been delighted by something. You were doing research, and all of you were very excited,
it was great.
Including the Bear.
Yeah, there was a Miami connection. So Hank Stram, the great Chiefs head coach, had a 6'10" player, Morris Stroud Jr., who was actually born in Miami. He was the tallest player in the league, and he realized that they're not blocking kicks at the line of scrimmage all that effectively. So his plan over the course of 4 years, and Stroud was successful at it a handful of times before the owners colluded to stop it, was to have Stroud goaltend at the field goal post.
Mm-hmm. So that's what changed the rule. That's what
Yes.
made it the rule that Tony now questions is a rule because
I was behind my time, Dan. Instead of being ahead of my time, I was behind my time because that happened 65 years ago. But again, I had no knowledge of it. But me and Hank Stram, one brain.
Great minds think alike, Dan.
Thank you.
And I, for one, if I were an NFL coach, I'd petition to change that rule back. Look,
Force them to do it again. Be like, oh, you want to stop it? Do it again.
It's not like it's easy. It's not like it's easy to block that. It's not like the number of opportunities to block that is plentiful. But if you want to carry a roster spot dedicated to a dude who's 6'10 with a 7'4 wingspan, go ahead, knock yourself out.
But they were doing it back then because people were smaller. 6'10 was the equivalent of 7'9. We got a 7'9 guy now. Like it's obviously a foot taller.
It's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming the 8-footer has very long arms. I'm assuming that if he plays basketball, he can get off the ground some. Although as little as Rue plays, I don't think that I do think his feet might be bolted to the ground.
Rue was unable. He's got an 11-inch vertical apparently, but he was unable to block a single kick during his workout with Florida football. Coaches were a little disappointed.
That's good reporting by you.
Oh, I thought he'd be better.
I think it's bad coaching on their part, to be honest. You know me.
I mean, it was Billy Napier's staff.
No longer there.
Can you guys help me with more information on a couple of football stories that are very difficult to talk about, and I don't know how people are talking about these stories? First of all, Antonio Brown being arrested in Dubai for attempted murder was something that we have seen as the details have been reported on Antonio Brown's life that seem to be more and more reckless in public, and if the details in public are this reckless, I'm going to assume that he's not getting caught every single time he's doing something wrong in public. Antonio Brown, for a while, has been descending into a combined health of danger and what appears to me to be mental illness stuff. And now there's a charge he's caught while he's in Dubai, and I don't know what he was doing in Dubai. Was he trying to stay away? Like, he was there for a long time in Dubai, and he had trailing him that he got into a fight in public. There's a video at a boxing match of him getting into a fight in public, and then he took a gun and took shots at somebody with a gun.
That's what the video looks like, makes it look like.
That's what it looks like to everybody. And then he was all of a sudden in Dubai for a long period of time. And now he's being arrested on murder charges while in Dubai. Are there any details here that are new or fresh that make you wonder whether Antonio Brown's about to lose a good deal of his freedom, and it's going to be one of the most apocalyptic cases we have ever seen of an athlete of any kind, not just a football player, going through a descent into straight madness that ends with the last time we saw him on a football field, he was kicked off the field by the champion Bucks. He took his shirt off, and then just all of a sudden, everything in his public life has become something that's hugely messy.
Well, luckily enough, nobody was injured, nobody was hurt, nobody was killed. So it is attempted murder. The reason why there was a scuffle outside of a boxing event, he shot 2 shots or 3 shots into a crowd. That's where the alleged attempted murder charge is from. But he was in Dubai. He's been very kind of like off the lamb, right? Or on the lamb. Yeah. He hasn't really been in public eye. All of a sudden, he shows up in Dubai getting extradited. Dubai allowed U.S. Marshals to go in and basically go find AB, which is a weird thing too, because it's like, is that legal? Do they do that? Like, how does that work? But now he's being extradited back to the United States to face those attempted murder charges. So it's kind of a weird situation where luckily nobody was hurt, but there's been a long string of trying to catch this guy.
He did announce that he's handing over the social media keys of CTE ESPN to his team as he lays low and deals with this.
Stay low.
I heard from inside.
You think that was like a company email?
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
team,
guys.
Hey, team.
Stepping away.
Stay low.
Hearing you go ha from inside the cavernous bear costume so cavernous that I could hear the echo from inside of the dampness was a funny ancillary sound to have
So
around a
damp.
very serious story.
I don't think I've ever been this damp. I'm trying to turn this mic
The
off.
battery looked kind of damp too, though.
Battery?
Yeah, when it was the
Oh yeah, that
battery.
was definitely damp as well.
That was a damp one. Yeah. It was a black, the black big box.
Chris, how do you feel right now?
Damp.
That's the you're going to leave here tired, correct?
I am tired. It's just like, I'm just looking at our clock and just being like, another minute 20.
Get some rest. We got a big night ahead of us.
What should I do? Yeah, no, big one at the Fronton tonight. Dan, you going?
Can we get your support? We're
Is
playing.
Unda good or is he not good?
Oh,
anymore?
we got Unda versus Takeda. The Undertaker.
The problem and the only problem that I have with getting out there is you guys play at the height of problematic traffic. Like you guys, it is really hard to get over there. It takes 90 minutes to get there.
Westbound, you're fine. It's eastbound is the issue.
Take the chopper.
You never know who will show up. Like Bob Wischusen might be there today.
Yeah.
Is Undertaker German?
Yeah, you pick up that name.
No.
The Undertaker.
Unda is from the Basque country, and he loves to play. That's the guy that I got into it in the locker room with. I'm like, I have to play, boss. I know you want to play, but we got championships in mind.
Can the Bears sit out the club? Can I be done?
No.
God, no.
So I'm going to dance.
You got away from the 29 nuggets that you should have finished. You're finishing the bear costume, damn it.
Go fuck yourself.
That was uncalled for.
Just do your costume. You have to finish the punishment. You can't just wander around Earth being in an occupation that allows you to be high all the time.
It's unbearable.